California, Valley Sports West, the heart of the fan.
The city of brotherly love, that's what the Halos are as this 9-game road trip continues. We welcome to Angels Live, presented by Lexus. Yeah, the Halos have landed in Philadelphia to take on the Phillies for a 3-game series at Citizens Bank Park. Here's on tap for the next 30 minutes on a very, very big show from our Santa Monica studios. Ohtani against Harper. Yes, two of the big boys in MLB are going head-to-head. Erica Weston's going to chat with Griffin Canning coming off his best performance of 2023. And Mark Gubicza, yeah, we know that guy. He always says he's from Philly. Is he really from Philly? We're going to find out here momentarily. But welcome, Insider Santa Monica Studios. Ken French, that is Bobby Valentine. And we kick this thing off by saying congratulations, El Segundo Little League. Little League World Series champions taking down Curacao on Sunday. Louis Lappy with the walk-off home run. Remember that name, Bobby V. What a game it was. And certainly, you know what? Let's take some of that mojo from the Little Leaguers and bring it into this series.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 is not bad, but you're trying to really get a big run going. But they're coming off a 2 out of 3, winning a series over in New York. And let's see what happens here in Philly, a team that's contending and having fun.
Yeah, the Phillies right now won 5 of 6. They're 14 games over 500, and they're leading the NL wild card 3.5 games over the Chicago Cubs. More importantly, though, we want to kick things off by talking about a very important situation when it comes to Chase Silseth. Certainly a sight that we do not want to see on any field. But Silseth hit by a ball in a first to third play in the 4th inning. He had to leave the field. A scary situation. And we're keeping our fingers crossed on Chase. Has not been placed on the IL. We'll see if he makes his next start.
Yeah, pitching so well this year, too, and had a great start going. Let's hope he can make his next one because he's been really dealing.
Yeah, 3.34 ERA and 6 starts since returning from AAA. Right now, Phil Nevin giving us an update on Chase.
There's still obviously a pretty good knot on his head and a little bit of a headache, but he took a pretty good shot. So bruise is really what we'll call it, but still monitoring him and doing some tests on him. But we feel like he dodged a bullet.
So he's continuing to undergo tests for the next few days?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, anytime you're dealing with something, the ball hit you in the head, I mean, he's going to have to come in and, you know, trainers are asking and making sure he's good. So, but yeah, we're going to keep a close eye on him, but he seems to be fine.
He was released from the hospital on Sunday. He is with the team, which is very good news. And as Phil mentioned, he will continue to be monitored. And as we get more information, we will give it to you. Now we're coming off a series in New York where we saw 2 of the best sluggers in baseball, and Pete Alonso and Shohei Ohtani going head-to-head. Now we get to see Shohei taking on Bryce Harper. Hopefully we don't see as many walks, Bobby V, that we saw in NYC. But look at these all-time slugging numbers since 2018 when Shohei came in the league.
Really amazingly clear that these guys can hit the ball and hit it as hard as anyone in the game. But I think it's also amazing that this Bryce Harper guy has been compared to another Angel, Mike Trout, for his entire career. And now Mike Trout's just watching this one as Shohei is the guy to go up against Bryce Harper mano a mano.
Last Wednesday, Shohei Ohtani, after being, when he was imaged in Game 1 after leaving first game of a doubleheader, Game 2, he hit his 44th home run. It still leads Major League Baseball, and ever since being diagnosed with that UCL tear in 3 games against the Mets, oh, he just broke a scoreboard. He had a couple stolen bases. He had 3 extra base hits. Shohei Ohtani still getting it done.
Yeah, and in Philadelphia at this time of the year, that ball's a home run. And in Philadelphia this time of the year, this ball's a home run. So hopefully he'll be able to hit a few balls in the air here in Philadelphia. It's a shorter park. The ball really carries well. And he'll not only get in that home run column, but the RBI column and start leading the league and leading the leagues in many a category, not just one.
Yeah, he is leading the way when it comes to home runs. He is in the top 3 when it comes to the other Triple Crown category. Shohei Ohtani just doing Shohei Ohtani things. By the way, 8 for 14 in that series against the Mets. Okay, Shohei Ohtani, the UCL tear. For the foreseeable future, Perry Manassian has said that Shohei will continue as DH until he is decided if and when he will have surgery. That would be his second Tommy John. Well, guy in the other dugout we just talked about, Bryce Harper, had to go through something very, very similar. Let's give you a timeline of what happened with Bryce Harper going back to May 12, 2022. Harper diagnosed with that UCL tear, and he is such a heart and soul guy of this team. In 2022, he continued to play it out and did what he could do. Still, 349 average in 17 games. Harper getting it done. He would finally go under the knife and have surgery. And Harper, again, just a guy that wanted to get back in the lineup, and we know what happened this year. He comes back in May. 160 days, Bobby, after his surgery, the quickest return by a player in the last decade.
Yeah, and Shohei will probably top that if he has surgery and he is asked to return. And the other similarity here is they're both left-handed hitters, if you're not paying attention, and they both hurt their right elbow, and which is that lead elbow. And you'll see here that that Harper has really held on to the bat with both hands this year so that he doesn't put stress on just that one arm by letting go of the top hand. I think Shohei might have to put that into his repertoire of swinging so that the stress isn't on that elbow with only one hand on the bat.
Bryce Harper, one of the hottest hitters in baseball. He's got a 10-game on-base streak, 486 with 5 homers, 12 RBI. So he has been clutch. Shohei Ohtani has been clutch. You put them together, two of the most clutch hitting players in all of baseball. And Bobby V, when the going gets tough, these are the guys you want at the plate.
Well, usually, coincidentally, they're also like the really best hitters on the team. And that's why they're the best clutch hitters on the team, because they're really good. And this group right here, right down to Justin Turner, who's been a hitter all of his life, are really good major league hitters. I think Ohtani wants to, you know, hopscotch Freddie there. Get up to be #1 in OPS. Just lead the leagues in all offensive categories.
That sounds about right for Shohei Ohtani. Let's find out where Shohei is batting here tonight on the lineup card that Phil and Evan will put out on the field this evening in Philadelphia. Shohei batting his customary second. Shanuel is back after dealing with flu-like symptoms on Saturday and Sunday. He was out of the lineup, but hey, you got Mickey Moniak, Logan O'Hoppe, 2 boys from Philly, arrived from the Angels, or to the Angels, last trade line last summer. I'm sure they're itching to get back against their former team.
Yeah, you know, to meet with people he came up through the minor leagues with, and to kind of prove a little something to the guys that traded you away, that you're major league caliber. I'd like to see O'Hoppe and Moniak. Ian, I'm going to say we're going to see our first home run tonight against Nolan 2.0.
I like it. And let's not forget about Luis Rengifo. 4 extra base hits, 5 RBI during a 5-game hitting streak. Louis getting it done, and he's going to have to get it done against a Philly team, as I mentioned at the outset of this program, that is absolutely on fire. 14 games over 500. They won 5 of their last 6. And oh, by the way, they have 49 homers in the month of August. That's the most in franchise history. Their pitching is getting it done. Their record shows exactly what's happening. And Kyle Schwarber, 189. Bobby V, 36 home runs.
Yeah, it's a different look. You know, he scares you with every swing of the bat, but he only really makes contact 2 out of 10 times. So keep him in the ballpark and pitch him tough.
Trey Turner, he's gone from 0 to hero. He's hitting .345 in his last 21 games. Taking our first time out here on Angels Live. When we do come back, though, Gooby is going to join us from Philly to talk about Lucas Giolito. California Lexus dealers experience amazing. That's either Rocky or a very young Mark Gubicza. A lot of people get that statue confused with Gooby, as I've been told, as we welcome you back to Angels Live, coming at you from our Santa Monica studios. Yeah, the Phillies and Angels starting a 3-game series. And when you think about Philadelphia, you think about what?
Gooby. That's what I think about when I think about Philly. No, I think about first. I think about Rocky,
Philly
of course.
Yeah, Philly cheese, and yeah, you know, all those different things. And oh, by the way, there's Mark Gubicza. Hey, Gooby. By the way, so when you go back to Philly, what are some of your stops? Like, what are some of your must-dos, must-go-tos when you're there?
Oh, by the way, yo, what's up, Frenchie? Yo, what's up, Bobby? How you doing? Yeah, I know. I always got, I'm going to see all this historic sites. I'm all about history first and foremost. I have to go down to the Schuylkill River and see the Boathouse Row. I mean, that's one of my all-time favorite. I grew up not too far from that area, but hey, this is the first time, I kid you not,
in that picture,
actually made it up the stairs. It's the first time I ever did it. It's one of those things, like, even when you're at home in Hollywood, you just never go to the Hollywood Walk of, the stars. So so this is my first time running up there. I was like, I'm kind of digging to myself. And then every time I go, I got to have my Delos Santos cheesesteak. Cheesesteak, sauce, and onions. That's all you do. And you better be ready to make your order. Otherwise, you get moved to the side. So I was ready to go.
All right, Gooby. Well, I'm glad you had a chance to do a little sightseeing. And again, maybe take some oxygen with you next time you run those stairs. But let's dive into the starter here tonight, Lucas Giolito. And I only want to chat a little bit about this guy that struggled since he's come over through the trade deadline, but coming off maybe his best start against the Cincinnati Reds, giving up just 1 earned run. What did you like about the changeup that you've been seeing out of Lucas?
Yeah, Frenchie, Bobby, I think that changeup, I even got a chance to talk to him after that game, even a couple days after that, too, saying that's the best changeup I've seen from him as far as working down in the strike zone. And he's changed some speeds on it, too. He's getting chases out of there. He had 14 swing and misses versus changeup last time out there, including 5 strikeouts. But in the past, he would try to elevate that changeup quite a bit, but I like it down in the zone. Just show his fastball upstairs, occasionally throw one of those changeups up, but keep it down in the strike zone, especially when you think about this lineup for the Phillies. There's a lot of power, but there's a lot of power from the left side of the lineup there, so that changeups will work really well when it fades down and away here tonight. And you remember, he pitched a really good game against them early in the season. Bottom line is that changeup should be effective here again tonight.
Yeah, it was a no-hit bid when he was playing for the White Sox when he did take on these Phillies. You mentioned a very good lineup. It's about hitting the edges, am I right, with Giolito? Because if anybody, if you miss in the middle, a professional hitter's going to take advantage of you, but no one can hit those edges as well as Giolito can when he's on.
And when he's on, and that's the thing, he can manipulate it. He's always had great control throughout his career. Even when you look back, even at the high school level at Harvard Westlake, he was all around the edges. But when he misses over the middle part of the plate, and you look at his numbers this season, that is when he has struggled. But when he's on the edges and then start to go below them and get swings, he's going to be very, very effective.
And Gooby, a veteran lineup there in Philadelphia. I wouldn't be surprised that there's going to be a few take third call strikes on fastballs, because there are guys who are going to be trying to pick on that changeup, experienced hitters.
Yeah, I mean, you even saw it yesterday with Griffin Canning. When you get hitters looking, Bobby, you know this, when they're looking for changeups, and then you throw the express, even if it's not upper 90s it used to be, it's 94, 95 of late, you're going to get a ton of looking or even swings above the strike zone. That's when that fastball is the most effective for Giolito, when it's at the top or slightly above the strike zone.
Gooby, welcome home. Good to have you there in Philly. Cannot wait for the broadcast and another Angel victory. Yeah, put up your dukes, big guy. It's going to be a fun one.
We need a Halo victory here tonight.
Yes, we do, yes. Gooby. Well done, sir. Enjoy the telecast. We will enjoy the telecast for sure as we continue that conversation when it comes to Lucas Giolito. And Bobby V, though, when you're known as a changeup pitcher, you mentioned kind of some called third strikes. How well those secondary pitches they need to play into what Giolito's doing. Otherwise, you're just sitting there waiting for that changeup.
Well, yeah, a lot of people say he needs to throw his changeup off of his fastball. I think he needs to establish the changeup, make it seem like he's coming in with all guns a-blazing and that ball going down and away. And it goes down and in to right-handers, down and away to left-handers. It goes down and away to right-handers, so it can move both ways. And he needs to exhibit that early in the game. Let him know that he's willing to throw at any count and get ahead in the count with the changeup, and then use a 95-mile-an-hour fastball like that to exploit the strike zone. Yeah, his changeup is spectacular. You could see how it kind of stops halfway there and then takes either a little right turn or a little left turn. And that's why it's a changeup off of a fastball. But I like him to use it to set up the fastball.
All right, Lucas Giolito again taking on these Phillies back on April the 18th. He went 6 innings of no-hit baseball in a 3-0 loss, actually, because the bullpen lost the game for
in Chicago.
The White Sox. Yes, in Chicago. Okay, let's take another time out here on the program. When we do come back, though, it's time to talk about Griffin Canning. Yeah, yesterday in New York, Canning back in the rotation, and he was as good as ever. On the other side, he'll talk with Erica Weston.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rallies.
See it.
He struck him out. It's out of here.
Feel it.
I can't wait for this game to start.
He took a home run away.
Live it.
That is as good as it gets.
The big plays.
The beauty of sports is when the hero comes through.
Yeah, the tense moments.
We have an update we must show you.
He's done it again.
With live look-ins, highlights, and breakdowns.
That might be what it takes to win.
MLB Tonight on MLB Network.
Surgery. Southern California Lexus dealers experienced amazing, and Griffin Canning very close to amazing yesterday in the loss against the Mets. I mean, he's been all over the place. He's been in the bullpen, on the injured list, but it was his first start since July 25th, and he had a chance to talk with Erica.
Guys, thanks very much. Griff, coming off of your start yesterday, first time you were starting in about a month, pitched certainly well enough to get the win. Phil said the big takeaway was first pitch strikes for you. What's your takeaway from your outing yesterday?
Yeah, for sure. I think sometimes we can overcomplicate it, but yeah, just jumping ahead of hitters and getting in those advantage counts usually works out in your favor. So yeah, just wanted to attack these guys. They're a pretty patient team as a whole, so there's a good chance to try and jump ahead of them.
You had those 2 outings in the bullpen before you went back to the rotation yesterday. Is there any kind of different as far as your routine goes, coming out of the pen and then getting back into the rotation?
Yeah, for sure. The bullpen, obviously, you just have a little bit less time to get ready. Don't know exactly when you're going to go into the game, but I knew I was kind of going into that bulk relief role. But I mean, nothing really changes. Just try and warm up as best I can and go compete in the game.
You didn't pitch at all last year with that back injury. You have been probably one of the more consistent guys coming in the rotation this year. What do you think about when you look back on not pitching at all this year and what you've been able to do this year?
I mean, going through it sucked, but I kind of kept the mindset that I thought it was going to help me in the future. Just kind of developing my routines of what it takes to keep my body in shape for the whole season. But yeah, just watching games last year, picking up things that I could learn from watching other guys. And then honestly, just maybe not taking it so seriously, just kind of making it a focal point to just have more fun.
Coming off of the IL, it wasn't a significant injury. It was just the calf. You talked about some of the lingering soreness, but you had 120 pitches before that against the Yankees. Would you change anything as far as that many pitches, that outing?
Probably not. I think the only thing would be it was the first start right after the All-Star break. I didn't throw too much over the All-Star break, so if anything, I feel like that could have contributed to it a little bit, but it was a fun game, so it's all good.
It was a fun game. It was a fun outing for you. Last one for you. We've been talking a lot lately about the youth of this team. Yourself, the rotation included, a lot of the position players. You see Nolan up here. He's been here for 5 minutes, and he's been so great. How much does that excite you guys, knowing that the young core of this team is really promising?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you can kind of build that culture with guys coming up together and then being in the big leagues together, kind of just build that camaraderie a little bit better. Obviously Neto and Nolan have come up here and shown that they can play. So yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Thanks for the time, Griff. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Erica. Griffin Canning throwing 94 pitches and 7 innings of work against New York yesterday. As Erica mentioned, pitched well enough to win that game. Unfortunately, it was a walk-off for the Yankees in the bottom of the 9th inning. But when you look at Griffin Canning, he threw 45 fastballs in those 94 pitches, 10 swing and misses with the fastball. So we talk about Giolito with the change. Is it Griffin Canning that should lead with his fastball?
Well, he has a really good fastball that's at 95 and 96 miles an hour consistently, and he throws it to those corners of the strike zone, up and away, up and in, down and away, and down and in, and that's a good way to make a living. But remember, Frenchie, he also has a 91-mile-an-hour changeup, and that changeup's a little different than most other changeups that people see. It's almost like a screwball. He throws it full swing, only 4 or 5 miles less than his fastball, but has good diving action away from the glove side. It's been a very effective pitch for him.
First time he's completed 7 innings since May 23rd of this year against the Boston Red Sox. We take one more time out here on Angels Live, coming at you from our Santa Monica studios. When we do come back, you hear Erica talk about the young core of this team. Nolan Chanel, he's right in the middle of it, and he's right back at the top of the lineup tonight.
Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort, and it all starts right here with Harold and Adnan on MLB Tonight's First Pitch.
Who's ready for baseball?
It's time for the first pitch.
We're about 25 minutes from game time. I'm so excited.
Our quick hitters right out of the gate. During the games, we take you to the games where you might see a lot.
Greg, we have a potential walk-off at Wrigley.
No way. What's going on?
Oh, they've got a runner at third and Nico Horner's up.
Here's a pitch.
Base hit. Nico rocks it up. Cubs win.
Cubs win. And after the games, we're all about instant highlights and player reactions.
Nico, congratulations. Your first career walk-off hit. How did that one feel?
Oh, man, it's as good as it gets. An amazing crowd here tonight. Wrigley Field is a very special place. We're feeling good right now, for sure.
And that's how this team covers every team. All in a night's work on MLB Tonight.
Of course, you see those jerseys everywhere you go as the Angels have now landed in Philly to take on the Phillies for 3 games at Citizens Bank Park. Nolan Shanawell, he's been out the last couple games, been a little under the weather, but he is back in there. And Bobby B, he's got 7 hits in his first 7 MLB games. You see what he's done there as far as a franchise history is concerned. Why has he been so successful with his approach?
Well, his approach starts with his ability to recognize. He has that innate ability to see pitches a little earlier than others. He has, he can walk. He can take pitches just a little off of the plate, and he knows how to put the head of the bat on the ball. I think he's going to pull a few balls in this series, pull a few in the air, and I think he's going to get his first MLB home run.
Nolan Shanawell, wow, I like that. Nolan Shanawell leading it off once again for the Halos after missing the last 2. Angels will be taking on Taijuan Walker for the Phillies. Boy, has he been good since signing a 1-year deal in the offseason. The Phils have won 11 of Walker's last 13 starts, 9-2 with a 2.84 ERA over that span. But Walker in his career, an ERA over 5 against these Angels when he used to play for the Mariners. On the other side, Angels baseball coming at you in Philadelphia.
Have fun, sis.
Valley Sports West, the heart of the fan.
It's the city of brotherly Gooby love, and tonight's game brought to you by Chevrolet. Game 1 of a 3-game series from Philadelphia, Citizens Bank Park, the Angels against the Phillies. Alongside Phillies own Mark Gubicza, I'm Wayne Rent. Daz Zone, Gooby, welcome back home.
Oh, Wayne, it's a lot of fun here. When you think about the connections with the former Phillies playing for the Angels and Angels playing for the Phillies, this is going to be a fun series here coming up.
That sure will. And the Phillies playing well. Of course, they have Bryce Harper in the middle of that. And for Shohei Ohtani, as he has a torn UCL, well, there is certainly a path back the way that Bryce Harper came back last May. Harper having that injury, knowing that he would miss some time with a UCL tear at some point. But Harper continued on, was a hero in the postseason for the Phillies. Then he had the surgery after that, and Bryce Harper was not out very long, coming back this year to help the Phillies out after having that surgery.
I mean, when you think about what he did in the postseason, he basically willed that team all the way to the World Series. Almost got the chance to win the World Series, had the Tommy John surgery in November, and then you look up and he's ready to start playing on May 2nd as the DH for the Phillies. Put in a lot of hard work in there, was determined to go out there and put it all together, and that's why when asked today, you think about it, there's so many similarities between Shohei Ohtani doing the same thing back in 18 and will eventually have to do it once again. But Bryce Harper was all about playing baseball, and he got back out there and now playing first base, which is defensive position, and he is throwing.
And Shohei Ohtani, much of the same. A guy who just loves to be out there. He hasn't missed a game since May 2nd, so potentially following that Harper path, we'll get Shohei on the field as soon as possible in 2024. For more on Bryce Harper, though, we send it downstairs. Here's Erica Weston.
Guys, we don't know yet if Shohei Ohtani is going to or will he have a second Tommy John surgery. We don't know if he's going to continue pitching either. He's the only one that knows what the future holds, but if there's anybody who knows how to quickly come back from Tommy John as a hitter, it's the guy across the field in Bryce Harper. You just mentioned his return, doing so in 160 days, the shortest time we've seen in about a decade. So for the time being, it will be Shohei possibly returning as just a hitter. Bryce Harper can certainly relate to that. What are the challenges of coming back in such a record time? Here's more from Harper on that earlier today.
You know, just understanding the process, the good days and the bad days. Understanding there's days where you're going to feel good, there's days where you're going to feel not so good. But just taking each day one at a time and preparing, prepping, doing everything you can, shoulder-wise and body-wise to make sure that you're giving your best, giving yourself the best opportunity to get back. I hope it's not too bad, like I said. I hope you can come back, from that very strong and keep being Shohei because, it's fun to watch.
Bryce Harper went on to say the Phillies were a little disappointed they won't see Shohei on the mound. He would have been slated to go on Wednesday. In the meantime, it'll be two former MVPs squaring off against each other in the batter's box. Stay with us here on Valley Sports as we continue to get you set for baseball from the bank. Frenchie and Bobby V will be back when we return to talk about tonight's starter, Lucas Giolito, who comes off his best start as a Halo. That's next.
It's like that. Got him and stays fair. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we give it to you. It's like that. I'ma do work, that's on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network. This is Chris Bryant. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Chris Bryant plays hard so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
to you by Hyundai. Get away with a great deal only at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Visit buyhyundai.com today. By the OC Healthcare Agency, build your healthiest self at angels.ocnavigator.org. And by your local Southern California Cadillac dealers. Beautiful day in Philadelphia. Look, it's like a Freaky Friday with Mickey Moniak and Brandon Marsh running into each other in the uniforms that each once wore not very long ago. Marsh brought up by the Angels, Moniak by the Phillies, and now they have swapped.
And both playing center field here tonight.
Both wearing number 16. One's very clean cut, though, and one is not.
Yeah.
Speaking of not clean cut, there's the Philly fanatic. Leave Shohei alone. Get that green fuzzball out of there. That's your best friend.
Yes, it is. Yeah, he's in awe of Shohei, like we all are. It's like, no, I can't touch the unicorn. I'm just the fanatic. I'm not a unicorn.
Well, hopefully he'll ride away soon. And they could get this game going here tonight, the first of this 3-game set at Citizens Bank Park between the Angels and the Phillies. As we give you the Angels lineup, brought to you by Tustin Buick GMC. Shohei Ohtani batting in the number 2 spot in the order. Nolan Schanuel is back in the lineup. Schanuel missed the last couple of games because of a stomach illness, but he still does have a 7-game hitting streak to start his major league career. And there is a couple of former Phillies, one in Moniak, who did see some big league time in Philadelphia, and another, Logan O'Hoppe, who was drafted by the Phillies, and he was the one acquired for Brandon Marsh last year. On the mound for the Phillies, a guy who's had a really good season, Taijuan Walker, has won a career-high 13 games.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball very, very well. The Angels are familiar when he's already had a 4-3 mark in his career with an ERA just over 5. My go-tos to have some success against Taijuan Walker here today in this ballpark where the baseball can carry is power to the fastballs up in the zone. 8 home runs versus his fastball, and keep that splitter in the zone. When it's below the zone, it is a swing and miss pitch. Over 50 strikeouts and a 25% whiff percentage. And the defense behind Walker here today. You got Bryce Harper making his 15th start at first base, .991 fielding percentage, is 1 earned, 12 double plays turned there with Bryce Harper. Still has that strong throwing arm, even though it's been repaired. You got Stott, Turner, Baum over to third base. You got Walker on the mound, Muto, and in the outfield you got Cave, Marsh, and Castellanos out in right field for the Phillies.
Yeah, curious to see how Bryce Harper looks at first base. You see him on TV a little bit. Hasn't played a lot of first base recently due to some back issues, but he's in there at first tonight. And speaking of being back at first, here's Schanuel in his 8th career game. He's had a hit in each of his first 7. He faces Taijuan Walker to start it off tonight with the first pitch strike. Walker gets ahead of Schanuel.
Yeah, not an overpowering fastball like he once had when we saw, especially we saw him with Seattle, but still 92 to 96 range. There's that split. He'll throw quite a bit.
Throwing it more than ever is Taijuan Walker, roughly 1/3 of the time overall this year. Though he says he likes to have that usage up in the 40% range. And has been a go-to pitch for a while for Taijuan Walker, who signed a 4-year deal with the Phillies before this season began. And he hits Schanuel with an 0-2 pitch.
And he went fastball in. And we've said that a lot. Not a fan if I'm a pitcher throwing that fastball in 0-2. I know you're trying to run that one back. It's a sinker to try to bring it back in the inside corner, but you work to get ahead, and now you have some traffic with Shohei at the dish.
And some polite applause for Shohei Ohtani as he stands in. Schanuel still trying to walk it off after getting hit on the back of the thigh.
Yeah, that's like one of those one almost hits you right in the hamstring area. As the game progresses, you might get a knot back there.
Here is Shohei with his 44 home runs on the year. 92 RBIs for Ohtani. He's still the major league leader in home runs. It remains to be seen how Shohei handles the rest of the season. We don't really know what he's thinking in terms of that UCL tear. We'll soak it up while we still can, at least for the rest of this season. As Shohei Ohtani has not shown any signs of slowing down offensively since the injury was revealed.
And he's been very patient at the plate, too. He had, what, 5 walks in New York.
Big swing there as Walker gets the 2-0 splitter by Shohei. And it's 2 balls, 1 strike. On the unquestioned MVP of the American League this year. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Shohei will very likely, almost certainly, be a 2-time MVP once the awards are unveiled after the World Series.
All right, back-to-back splitters, Wayne, and there after being behind 2-0, back-to-back.
Very likely Shohei will make history as the only unanimous 2-time MVP in Major League history. 2-2, and there's a rocket up the middle, a base hit for Shohei.
Well, he stays on the baseball so well. After back-to-back splitters, 4-seam fastball lines it right up the middle. Fortunately for Walker, that baseball did not hit him. He stayed on this real well. That balance is so good. Yesterday, his balance was off, I felt, a little bit in the game against the Mets. He's moving his feet. No lower half movement on that swing for Shohei. Coming in at a .305 batting average.
So the first 2 Angels are on against Taijuan Walker, who typically struggles early in games. Walker this year has a .657 ERA in the first inning. It's his worst inning out of any of the others this year.
He's given up some home runs, 3 of them in the first inning also. That ball went up the middle by Shohei, 106.1. And Walker, a tall pitcher, so when you're landing, you're about a little over 50 feet away, and it's coming back at you at 106.
He was able to lean forward and get out of the way. Walker is a very good athlete. He's a great fielding pitcher.
And he's almost impossible to steal against as a right-handed pitcher. He has 5 pickoffs this season.
He gets a bunch of pickoffs every year. He is an excellent athlete on the mound. Brandon Drury fouls one off, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And our Hyundai key for the game today, we got to go a little local flavor here. Pink today. Please don't leave me. In other words, when runners in scoring position, let's get some good swings and score some runs with runners in scoring position to get those base hits.
That's what the city says to you on the last day of the series. Don't go again.
No, they say please leave.
Don't leave.
They say please leave. And don't come back no more.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Brandon Drury. Walker's already thrown 12 pitches here in the first inning without recording an out. He hit Nolan Shonowell with an 0-2 pitch, and then he gave up a smash of a single up the middle to Shohei. Drury couldn't hold his swing. He strikes out for the first out of the inning.
Got him a chase on that splitter. It's now 53 strikeouts with his splitter.
1 away, and the batter, Mike Moustakas. Walker has a .284 ERA over his last 13 starts. He's won 9 of them. Had a streak in that span of 7 straight starts with a win.
Pretty interesting when you look over at first base. You see Shohei and you see Bryce Harper. Occasionally will look and say something to each other, but very similar what they're both going through. Harper still in that healing process, and Shohei Ohtani, same thing.
Moustakas with a pop-up. As Marsh comes in, Stott is out. The second baseman makes the catch. And there's 2 down here in the first when Hifo is due up. Another similarity between Shohei and Harper, at least after the season is over, is that they will both be 2-time MVP award winners. Harper won the MVP for Washington in 2015 and for the Phillies 2 years ago. In fact, he and Shohei were both the league MVPs in 2021. Rengifo been red hot. He has a chance to give the Angels the early lead here. And you'll need to score some runs against the Phillies to hold them off.
Especially how many home runs they've hit in the month of August alone, with 49.
That is a franchise record for the Phillies in any calendar month. Rengifo with a hard hit ball. It's through the right side, a base hit. Shotwell's being waved around. Castellanos with his throw to the plate. It's on the way, and it is not in time. Shotwell with a head-first dive. Gets past Real Muto. It's a base hit for Rengifo and a 1-0 lead for the Angels.
And right away, a base hit with a runner in scoring position. Rengifo doing his job, hitting the ball hard, getting it through the infield. And a bang-bang play at the plate, testing that stomach. Shotwell slides in on that stomach for the first run of the game. Look at splitter that stayed up and stayed on it for Rengifo. Pretty good throw, just a little bit up the line, and Shotwell able to get that hand in.
Castellanos has 9 outfield assists this year. And Nolan Shotwell able to beat the throw from Castellanos. The Angels have the lead. And now a bunt attempt from Mickey Moniak. Walker Fields throws, and it is in time.
I checked that one. Yeah, David Mayshore right away said check it.
Laz Diaz, the first base umpire, called it, and to me, he looks safe.
And even Moniak going down there too, they're going to check it. And you got to feel pretty comfortable with that decision, especially in the first inning.
We mentioned how good of a fielder Walker is, so Moniak laying that bunt down, challenging Walker, who did everything he could.
And that foot's on the base before the ball's in the glove.
Los Angeles Angels. Is it on?
Yes, it's on, Laz.
Los Angeles Angels are challenging the safe call at first base.
Laz Diaz, the crew chief.
Did he already say we're safe then after all? He's going to challenge. Yeah, he's safe.
You wonder too a little bit there with Harper taking that throw. Didn't have that same kind of going after the ball that a first baseman will typically have. We've talked about Harper being a novice at first base, even though that they believe if he works there and continues on, he'll be very good there.
After review, the call is overturned. The runner is safe. The Los Angeles Angels retain their challenge.
By the way, Moniak got down the line in 30.5 feet per second. You don't think he's energized coming to this ballpark here? Flying down the line.
Beat it by about a half step at first, so Moniak gets the bunt base hit. And that loads the bases for Logan O'Hoppe, who gets to face the Phillies as well for the first time.
So 3 hits and a walk in this inning. That's when you want to get a few more runs than just the one so far.
O'Hoppe turned around by that pitch that ran in from Walker. No balls and a strike. O'Hoppe, a 23rd round pick of the Phillies in 2018. He drills that one, but foul.
And 0-2 counts so far for Walker this year against right-handed batters. You're talking that 65% of the time it's going to be some sort of secondary pitch, break a ball or splitter. But he went with a fastball. That's what started this whole thing off on an 0-2 fastball inside. And Shotwell ended up being a hit by pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Logan O'Hoppe. Walker bounced it. Ohtani almost broke for the plate, but Real Muto got enough on it to keep it close, and it's 2-2.
Just 2 wild pitches this season for Walker. Spiked that splitter.
Quick reaction from Real Muto behind the plate just to get his glove on that.
He's one of the best defenders in the game, all around catchers in the game.
Well, the guy that Logan O'Hoppe is trying to blossom into. And also the reason why he's not with the Phillies anymore.
Yeah, part of that reason because Miyamoto's going to be a Philly for a lot of years, so there wasn't going to be much of an opportunity for Logan O'Hoppe.
Real Muto as good as it gets, and O'Hoppe very soon could be as well. Bases loaded here on a 3-2 pitch. The runners go. And O'Hoppe hits one hard. It is handled by Trey Turner. Gets up, throws a strike to first. And that ends the inning. Good play by Trey Turner. Saved at least 1 run and probably 2. But the Angels do take the lead. Nolan Shotwell scores the game's first run.
Create amazing work with Fiverr. All you need is your team and a talented freelancer who will lend a hand and seamlessly join your team from just about anywhere. Expand your team with a Fiverr freelancer.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy.
What?
And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too!
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. Each pair comes standard with lenses that are scratch-resistant, anti-reflective, and UV protective. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Tonight. And he threw an exceptional game against the Phillies wearing the White Sox uniform earlier this season. My go-tos for Giolito have that type of game, especially after the last game out where his changeup was great. It's build on that changeup success. He had 5 strikeouts, 14 swing and miss on his changeup, and that glove side break on his slider throughout the game against this powerful lineup, but a lineup that will swing and miss on occasion.
Giolito was pretty good in his last start for the Angels. Got to be careful with Kyle Schwarber to start the game.
His numbers on the first pitch put in play is unbelievable. .490 batting average with 12 home runs.
This Phillies lineup has been scoring runs in bunches lately. A bunch of good hitters up and down the order. Here's a strike to Schwarber. How about the fact that Schwarber this year has had a 3 true outcome, walk, strikeout, or home run in over 300 of his plate appearances this year. He has had 100 walks, 166 strikeouts, and 36 home runs.
And a negative WAR so far, 0.1, which is hard to believe when you have 36 home runs and 84 RBIs.
He swings and misses, so another 3 true outcome. The changeup strikes out Schwarber for the 167th time he punches out.
And defensively behind Lucas Giolito today, Mickey Moniak out in center field, 980 fielding percentage. He's robbed 3 would-be home runs so far this year. Griffin Canning in right field, Moustakas, Rengifo, Drury, Shawnuel at first base, and Logan O'Hoppe behind the dish calling the pitches for Lucas Giolito.
Here's Trey Turner, and really for the second year in a row, the Phillies fans showed their sensitive side with one of their players. I didn't know they had a sensitive side. It came out last year with Alec Bohm. Turner fouls one behind home plate. Remember, Bohm was kind of seen on camera saying how he hates this place. He was getting booed after making some errors, and he really addressed it in a very he had a lot of humility the way he addressed it after the game. And after that, the Phillies fans kind of really embraced Alec Bohm. He didn't hate the place anymore. Now he loves it. Here's a fly ball from Trey Turner, and he's loving it here too. That ball is going to go, and Trey Turner has tied this game at 1.
Well, he has been really hitting the ball well of late, and another home run for the Phillies in the month of August, giving them now 50. The 16th home run this year for Trey Turner. Also a slow start, but he's been hot lately. Made a great defensive play, really, when you think about it. That last half inning. Logan O'Hoppe hit a base hit. That looked like it was destined to be at least 2 RBIs. And that changeup drifted into his swing. He's another hitter with that high leg kick, got that foot down, and is able to lift that out with that launch angle. Off the bat, 104.4, went 374 for Trey Turner.
It's exactly the same type of thing. An article came out about how hard Trey Turner is working, how hard it is to go through the struggles that he had in his first year with the Phillies. Well, since then, Turner's really turned it on. As Harper, it's a bouncing ball to first. Shawnuel races to the bag to beat Harper. Over his last 21 games, Turner is at .345 with 5 homers, 13 extra base hits overall.
Means he has stolen 23 bases and has not been caught once.
Turner with that home run. He's 6th in the last few weeks. There's Castellanos with a fly ball to right field. And there's Cabbage just shy of the warning track to make the catch. Castellanos flies out. Giolito's out of the first in a tie game.
With Home Chef, you're home free when you're craving a home-cooked meal. Our oven-ready meal kits are easy to make and even easier to love. When it comes to making dinner, fill in the blanks with Home Chef. Delicious, meat simple.
Get 18 free meals when you sign up at homechef.com.
When the details take precedence, the rest falls perfectly into place. We strip away everything but the essential. And what we're left with are thoughtful bedrooms for modern living. Thuma.
Sure, you'll teach her to drive a car. Then use Greenlight and teach her to save up for her own car. Mowing lawns and getting paid. Navigate the world of earning, saving, and investing together. Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want on the only live TV streaming service rated #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Try free at FuboTV.com.
Our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. 52 strikeouts with a splitter coming into the game, and look where those spots were, a lot well below in the strike zone. Only about 8 in zone with the splitter, so a lot of chases well out of the zone. So you got to try to bring that in. If you do, you can do some damage to it. He's given up a couple home runs, 5 of them as a matter of fact, versus a splitter when it's in zone. But out of the zone, devastating.
There's Trey Cabbage leading off the second against Taijuan Walker. Cabbage getting a start in right field, and there's Phil Nevin put it before the game. I want to get a little bit of a look at Cabbage here. The Angels have faded back in the standings. You got to get a better idea of what is around the organization if you can, and the Angels will have that opportunity here with Cabbage. Not that he's going to play every day. Hunter Renfroe will still get most at-bats, most games in right field, but good test for Cabbage against Taijuan Walker.
A lot of power, 27 home runs at AAA this year. One up here.
A lot of stolen bases too, but he strikes out here. And Walker has his second strikeout, 1 away.
And again, just like we showed on our StatCast 3D, where the splitter ended up being for the strikeout too. That was well below the zone. It looks like a strike. I think if as a hitter, it's still difficult to be able to react like that. If you see it starting at the knees, you just got to try to let it go. That means you got to train your eye to be able to see down there towards that lower part of the strike zone. If it's a splitter, you read that because it's not going to have a lot of spin on it. You have to let it go.
0-2 on Randall Grichuk. Phillies just swept the Cardinals in a series in which they held St. Louis to 3 runs. Cardinals batted .110 over the 3 games here in Philadelphia over the weekend. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Grichuk. The Angels a run on 3 hits against Taijuan Walker in the first. The first time through the order is usually when offenses do their best against Walker.
So that splitter stayed up and becomes a hittable pitch, and Grichuk just was out in front to pull a foul.
Walker has struggled lifetime against the Angels. Of course, he was with the Seattle Mariners early in his career.
This offhand, I know Trout. He got that call. That ball might have been off the plate. Mike Trout had some really good power numbers against Walker in his career.
Now, good numbers overall. He's 11 for 19 against Walker.
Yeah, that's feeling comfortable.
See the call, third strike to Grichuk. Might have been a touch off the plate. 2 up, 2 down. Walker is from California. He was born in Shreveport, Louisiana, but he grew up in California. Went to Yucaipa High School. And Shonowell fouls one off. He was a great basketball player, too. Nobody really knew what would become of his baseball career. Check swing roller, and that's a foul ball. Walker said he could have gone and played basketball overseas after high school, but decided that he would just go after baseball. He was a supplemental first-round pick drafted by the Mariners. And he got to the big leagues fairly quickly. Just after turning 21, he made his major league debut about a decade ago for Seattle. There have been some ups and downs since, a lot of injuries too. He's really been healthy the last few years, and he's turned into a pretty good pitcher.
Yeah, I just watch him too. And a lot of pitchers do this thing as just a normal reaction. They're shaking the arm off, moving, whatever. You know, we joke around about, you know, the bone chips in the elbow and all those things. He does that quite a bit. You know, you went by, we were talking about before the game where he struggled a little bit in the second half last year, and he went through a stretch here with the Phillies, but still a great season overall.
Loop toward the left side and caught by Trey Turner. Shonowell lines out to end the second.
This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network. The next generation of baseball has arrived.
And I am here for it.
Keep an eye on the new faces of baseball on Off Base, the modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan.
It's all about things you haven't seen before.
Only on MLB Network. You want highlights? Quick Pitch has you covered.
I'd say this calls for celebration.
Packing all the day's biggest plays into one lightning fast hour.
Oh my goodness, what a play!
Every game. Every night.
Swing and a miss!
Every highlight that makes the headlines.
Are you kidding me?
We live today, preview tomorrow.
This race in the NL Central is getting good.
On Quick Pitch. Late nights and early mornings, only on MLB Network.
With the tear in his UCL and being a hitter, it's Bryce Harper, who just returned not too long ago from dealing with that injury on his own. But as far as continuing to be a two-way player, well, Bryce is just a fan like the rest of us. We had a chance to talk to him about Shohei before the game today. He told me he hopes he continues to do it all on both sides because it's fun to watch. It just gives everybody at a young age an opportunity to strive to be like that, right? To hopefully have multiple players in the league doing what he is doing, because it's special, and he's one of the guys that can do it because he's got the body that can do it. He's got the mindset, so he hopes it's not too bad. He said, I hope he can come back from it and keep doing it strong and keep being Shohei because it's fun to watch. So much like we want to see Shohei do it, other guys in the league want to keep seeing Shohei do it as well.
Yeah, it was amazing how much when you see him, and was talking about him and seeing him after that, how much of a fan he is. Like we all are, like you said, Erica, of Shohei Ohtani. It was just this amazed at what he does, swinging the bat. He goes, he's an incredible hitter. It would have been pretty cool to face him, or at least think I would have liked to face him if he was scheduled to pitch on that Wednesday game.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Bryson Stott. We talked about it a little bit the other night. It's great for the league to have Shohei Ohtani healthy as a two-way player. I don't know exactly if he'll have surgery, if it is going to indeed be Tommy John, as Stott loops one to the right side. Nice pick by Drury. Spin and a throw in time. What a play by Brandon Drury, stepping out in a shallow right field to rob Bryson Stott.
Yeah, he's showing some more and more range. Mentioned he's been really solid defensively. When you look at all the numbers for Brandon Drury, that ball was destined for a base hit in the outfield, and he knew he had to get rid of it quickly. Stott runs well. The transfer and enough on that throw. You know, he's been dealing with some shoulder problems, both the left and right shoulder, but a nice play and a nice firm throw by Brandon Drury.
Alec Bohm waves and misses at the first pitch from Giolito. No balls and 2 strikes on Bohm, who was turned into a pretty good offensive player for the Phillies. He still struggles at third base. This is not a great Phillies defensive team, but they were able to get by last year. With the run that they've been on over the last couple of months, they have vaulted to the first wild card spot in the National League. Figure they will be a postseason team again. No way they're going to catch Atlanta in the East, but it didn't matter last year. They finished 3rd in the East last season and won the pennant. Home with 1-hopper to short. Nice pick, Rengifo. Strong throw to retire Alec Bohm, and 2 really good defensive plays from the Angels to start this inning.
And 3 ground ball outs behind Lucas Giolito already today. This baseball was hit hard. A 1-hop, nice backhand play by Rengifo. Had the RBI single. Now that big defensive play. Shortstop position, not normally going to be getting a baseball 103 miles per hour off the bat, but he did. A 1-hopper, nice play. And you're right, Wayne. 2 really solid defensive plays already in this inning by the Halos.
JT Realmuto now the batter as he swings and misses for a strike. Realmuto having a decent year offensively, not his best. Still a very good hitting catcher, and he's batting 7th in this dangerous lineup for the Phillies.
He's always been a doubles machine. He's got 26 doubles, but 5 triples as a catcher.
He usually is the catcher that is the fastest in the majors. As Realmuto lifts a fly ball to right field. You have to hold your breath anytime a ball's hit to right field here, but Cabbage comes in for that one. That's 1-2-3 for Giolito.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
First inning, first at bat, back to back, nasty splitters by Taijuan Walker to Shohei Ohtani. And then he tried to sneak a fastball on him. He hits it 106 miles per hour, right back up the middle. You talk about still having timing after dealing with back-to-back nasty splitters, but still stayed on a fastball. That was our T-Mobile coverage cam with that great swing for Shohei against Taijuan Walker.
And Shohei leads off here in the top of the third. Shohei with a hard hit ball for a base hit in the first inning. He's homered off Walker as well. That's this ball toward left center. Marsh coming in for it. Calls off Cave. And retires his former teammate. One away.
It's another pretty good splitter he threw to Shohei. Got him to go a little bit out of the zone on it.
That brings up Drury, who struck out his first time. Nice play by Drury on the defensive side in the bottom of the second to take a hit away from Bryson Stott. Luis Rengifo made a good play in that inning as well. Hard hit ball and through past Bone. Base hit for Brandon Drury.
Some hard hit baseballs on the ground so far. For two teams that like to hit the ball a lot in the air and a long way. So another fastball hit. Seems to go a higher percentage of that splitter against left-handed batters.
Ball 105 miles an hour off the bat. So there have already been 8 balls hard hit and put into play in this game between the two teams. Shohei's the hardest so far at 106 off the bat. Drury's 105. Trey Turner's home run was 104. After hitting a home run, it's the third hardest hit ball of the game behind 2 singles.
Just have to be able to get that baseball in the air with a launch angle to be able to hit it that far. With 374.
That ball hit well toward the corner, but foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Mike Moustakas. Talking to Moustakas before the game today with Jerry Krasnick, the former baseball writer, now works for the MLB PA, Philly based. Asking Moustakas what his favorite uniform has been that he's ever worn in his major league career. He said it was the Angels throwback uniforms they wore a few weeks ago for throwback weekend.
They are great unis.
Like that old 80s classic that the Angels had on a few weeks ago. The Phillies actually wear their throwback powder blues at home now. It used to be their road uniform. They wear it for Thursday home games here at Citizens Bank Park. So we won't see those in this series. We're not going to be here until Thursday, but there it is, that powder blue jersey that fan is wearing with the old darker red hat.
See a Steve Carlton jersey right below us in that powder blue.
Moustakas with a pop-up behind home plate. Real Muto gets rid of the mask and makes the catch. So 2 outs, and the batter now will be Rengifo. You know, back when you were growing up here in Philadelphia, it wasn't really how it is now, where you could just buy players' jerseys wherever at any store or order them online. No internet when you were a kid. Was there even a telephone?
No, you just put the cups on the wall. That's how you'll be able to communicate, yes.
And the point is, you probably didn't have a Phillies player's jersey because that wasn't really a thing.
No, no. Had a few Eagles jerseys, but not many Philly jerseys at all.
No balls, 2 strikes. Fans weren't, that wasn't that licensing and that kind of merchandising wasn't really a thing until the last 30 years or so.
Do have a powder blue Dave Cash and Tug McGraw jerseys, though. Once in a while I'll sport them, wearing them.
Rengifo, it's a chopper, and that's a base hit past Bryson Stott to right center field. Taking third is Drury.
Now that didn't necessarily have a high velocity exit rate on that one, but it found the hole, making contact. 2 for 2. Rengifo continues to swing the bat well. More playing time, whether it's batting left-handed or right-handed. Solid contact.
So Rengifo has done well in interleague play this year. Continues that. He's 2 for 2 tonight. And the batter will be Mickey Moniak. Angels have actually struggled against National League teams this year. Last couple of years. Well, they did win 2 out of 3 against the Mets over the weekend.
Well, remember at one point the Angels were the best in baseball as far as win-loss record in interleague play.
There's Mickey Moniak. Not much of a reaction for Moniak entering the batter's box, but he was the #1 overall pick, drafted by the Phillies back in 2016. Traded for Noah Syndergaard, who wasn't bad with the Phillies in the second half last year. In the postseason, it was at least serviceable for them. It's not been a good year for Syndergaard, who began the year with the Dodgers, then was sent to Cleveland. He was DFA'd recently by the Guardians. So while you might need time to decide who got the better end of the Ohtani-Marsh trade, it's pretty clear who got the better end of the Moniak-Syndergaard trade.
Marsh has been solid for the Phillies. Ohtani's going to be a star, though.
Yeah, that trade might just be even. Moniak chases and misses for strike 3. And Taijuan Walker able to wiggle out of some trouble in third.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at-bats.
A walk-off flare!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
It's like that. Got him, it stays fair. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we bring it to you. It's like that.
The Halos face the Tigers at 6:30. First 25,000 fans will receive a Mike Trout Silver Slugger bobblehead, courtesy of angels.ocnavigator.org. Visit angels.com/promotions. Not the homecoming Mike Trout was hoping for, being back in the Philly area, but they're happy to be here. One way or the other, as Brandon Marsh swings and misses on the first pitch from Lucas Giolito to lead off here in the bottom of the third. Marsh facing his former team, the Angels.
Yeah, going back to that first start for Giolito against the Phillies, he got Marsh to chase a lot of changeups just like that out of the strike zone. Gets the first one chased.
Wet hair, don't care for Brandon Marsh. Wets his head often in the midst of games to keep it looking like that.
Another good change up there. And what would that look like to you that way?
That's that. Whatever that is that. That's what it is. The wet hair, the dry beard. He likes to wet his hair so that it doesn't become brittle during the games. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Brandon Marsh, the former Angel. Right next to the man that he was traded for, Logan Ohtani. Marsh with a pop-up over the infield. Luis Rengifo makes the catch. 6 in a row retired by Giolito since the Trey Turner homer. Giolito did well against the Phillies earlier this year, allowed no hits in 6 innings against them on April 18th.
He had his 1 walk, 7 punch-outs in that game. He had his fastball going. He was spotting the fastball, which is always big for Giolito, but his changeup was really, really good. I expected as the game progressed here, as he keeps showing a good changeup, that fastball will become even more effective.
Jake Cave looks at strike 1.
By the way, earlier today, Logan O'Hoppe was out doing some early work along with Chad Wallach on framing pitches. I just love when you see that extra work. He was there doing it for quite a while and making sure you get that one leg down, like you see right there, but also keeping pitches in front of him. They had a machine out there. We're throwing pitches on corners, elevating some pitches, make sure he reaches back and forth.
1 ball, 1 strike on Cave. Now the count 2 balls and a strike. Send it down to Erica.
Yeah, he was out here early with Chad Wallach, mostly just working on setup stuff. Gooby, like you mentioned, working on controlling things when the ball gets away. But a lot of it, he said, was still just working on getting his legs under me. He joked he'd been out for a minute, so he's still trying to find that rhythm back there, make sure the legs are working, especially when he has to move quickly back there.
Good pitch by Giolito, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This way he received that baseball there, he is so quiet behind the plate. The changeup, he didn't move that glove at all. And he was doing that quite a bit even in those early drills.
That's on the outside corner, strike 3 call.
I mean, it couldn't have worked any better after that conversation and all the stuff he worked on. He got that pitch because that was out of the zone. That was all Logan O'Hoppe getting that strike. The glove, the quiet hands, just keep it there. Just enough for the presentation to get that called strike because that's a little bit off the plate. Perfect job by Logan O'Hoppe. You know, practice makes perfect. Working on that today was perfect.
Throughout nobody on. Ball 1 to Kyle Schwarber, who struck out his first time. Well, Brandon Marsh still certainly will have a pocket of fans amongst the Angels fan base. I can think of one person in particular who likes Brandon Marsh a whole lot. But Logan O'Hoppe has a real chance to be a star player behind the plate in the big leagues. And Brandon Marsh might be a star player in center field for the Phillies. It might work out where that's just the perfect baseball trade, that the Angels got something that will really help them for many years to come in a position of need. And the same thing for the Phillies.
And when you go back to that game where Pete Alonso was hit by that pitch, the curveball, and right away Logan O'Hoppe tried to say, listen, it was a curveball, but he stood there right in front of him to make sure that he was protecting his teammate. But he also wanted to let him know that it was a breakable, even though, hey, if you get hit with a pitch, it doesn't feel good no matter what kind of pitch it was. But he made sure he told him that. And just that kind of leadership skills that he has is going to be huge going forward for Logan O'Hoppe. Just like we always loved the way Brandon Marsh played the game of baseball.
There's a strike to Schwarber, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Marsh has certainly improved as he's gone along since coming to the Phillies. He's having a nice year. And if Marsh has a good career, well, doesn't mean it didn't work out for the Angels, because they have a big piece of their future now because of that trade.
There's that fastball. Got him looking changeup. Got the express.
Strike 3 to Schwarber in a 1-2-3 inning for Lucas Giolito.
It's like that. Got him, it stays fair. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we give it to you. It's like that.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game on MLB Network.
You want highlights? Quick Pitch has you covered, packing all the day's biggest plays into one lightning-fast hour.
What a play!
We live today, preview tomorrow on Quick Pitch. Late nights and early mornings, only on MLB Network.
Blue moon bright spot as Logan Ohtani stands in to begin the top of the 4th inning. Angels have done well against the Phillies in these interleague matchups. The Phillies won the first time they ever played each other, and the Angels won 12 in a row. The Phillies did sweep last season in their series against each other, but the Angels 12-4 all time against Philadelphia, as it will be now for interleague play, at least for the time being. And these two teams will see a lot more of each other at least once a year. Logan Ohtani rolls one over to Trey Turner at short. And there's one away here in the 4th.
By the way, cool moment when Ohtani came into the batter's box there with Giolito. I mean, that was his mentor when they were together with the Phillies. And we saw Realmuto steal a pitch himself. The top of the inning, and then the same thing happened with Logan Ohtani at the bottom of the inning, stealing a strike call.
A pretty good guy to try to emulate as Cabbage shows bunt and takes ball 1. JT Realmuto has become one of the top 2 or 3 catchers in all of baseball over the last handful of years. Big swing from Cabbage, but missing on the Walker curve, and it's 1 ball 1 strike. Cabbage struck out his first time. Walker's fanned 4. Each starting pitcher allowed a run in the first, and that's been it. And typically both of these guys, Walker and Giolito, get better as the game goes along.
And you almost feel right now with a fastball like that, you're just going to have to deal with a splitter if you're Cabbage now.
There's a breaking ball, looked like the curve to strike him out. The same idea. The bottom dropped out and Cabbage swings through it. 5 strikeouts for Taijuan Walker. 2 up, 2 down. The batter will be Gubicza.
After quite a few pitches for Walker in the first inning, he's really settled down now all of a sudden. He had 24 pitches in the first inning.
And both Walker and Giolito are at their best the 3rd time through the order. So they both get into those mid to late innings and pitch the best they did of the entire game. It's typical for both of them. And both allowed a run in the first inning today. The 4th inning has been the worst inning for Giolito this year, so we'll see how he handles that with the Phillies' best hitters coming up.
Yeah, he's given up a lot of runs in the 4th inning.
3 balls, no strikes on Randall Grichuk. Shonowell in the top of the order next.
I still think right now, if you're Grichuk, green light. He's got power. In this ballpark, anything hitting the air could get out.
There's ball 4, so Grichuk works a walk, a 4-pitch walk from Taijuan Walker. That'll bring up Shonowell, who has a 7-game hitting streak to start his major league career. The Angel record is 9, belonging to David Eckstein. Shonowell will try to move past Trent Durrington tonight.
Already helping out with the on-base percentage when he got hit by a pitch. Coming in the game, he was at .516. Think about it, this is a pretty tough combination to try to steal against. So you're almost going base to base against Walker. Realmuto behind the plate has thrown out 23%, 34% in his career. And Walker, very difficult to steal against.
That's line. That's a base hit for Shonowell into the right field corner. Grichuk's on his way to 3rd. Castellanos plays it back in. They will hold Shonowell at 2nd base as Grichuk gets the stop sign at 3rd. And Nolan Shonowell has an 8-game hitting streak to begin his major league career, the 2nd longest in Angels history, and a solid double gives the Angels a threat here in the 4th inning.
He jumped on a cutter on the inner half of the plate and lines it. His first extra base hit in the show. I'm sure Shohei will not get a chance to swing the bat here with an open base.
Well, the combination of an open base and the Phillies still trying to lock down a playoff spot. They're the first wild card holder in the National League. They're somewhat comfortably ahead, but never feel too comfortable. The wild card is pretty bunched up in the National League. The Cubs have the 2nd spot. Arizona's 3rd. The team directly behind the Diamondbacks right now is San Francisco.
Boy, it's good to have Shonwell back. It's already been an impact in this game. A hit by a pitch, scored a run, and now a double.
I mean, it's really something. There's the National League wild card race. The Giants and the Reds both on the outside looking in. So the Phillies a handful of games up in terms of just having one of the spots. But still, they'd like to make sure they lock that down. That can go away quickly this time of year. Well, it seems like the Phillies, at least for now, are going to allow Shohei to be in the batter's box. Rob Thompson really living on the edge. That's not close from Walker.
And the worst thing you can tell a pitcher is don't give him anything to hit. Well, I'm pretty sure that's your goal every time. And now with two pitches like that, two splitters out of the zone, I'm surprised they're not even just walking them now.
Well, what's the point of even doing this?
Throw that splitter, get the zone. Shohei's going to cover it.
That one's not close either. So it's 3-0, and really Walker just.
And now they're going to finally go ahead and walk him now.
Yeah, well, that was really.
I don't understand why you do that. You throw a few more pitches, and you could potentially throw a wild pitch.
Yeah, a lot more harm could have come from that than good from the Phillies standpoint.
And I think also, Wayne, when you throw pitches out of the zone, then that arm angle and your routine is off enough. So Brandon Drury right here, for me, be ready to cover this first pitch, because after throwing 3 in a row well out of the strike zone, your arm angle is not exactly the same as normal. Just be ready to jump on one right now.
2-out rally brewing as Brandon Drury goes after the first pitch, but fouls it off.
Yeah, pretty good pitch to drive the right center on that one too. Just missed it. Up and out over the plate. A sinker that was flat and elevated.
No balls and a strike. This crowd filled out pretty good here at Citizens Bank Park. Big crowd for a Monday night as the Phillies pursue another playoff berth. And Shohei's here. Up the middle, Turner can't reach it, a base hit. Grichuk scores. Here comes Shonwell. He scores. Over to third is Ohtani. Brandon Drury gives the Angels a 3-1 lead with a 2-run single.
Already in this game, we're seeing some big hits with runners in scoring position. That's now 61 RBIs on the season for Brandon Drury, going right back up the middle. You see where Trey Turner is playing more in the hole, and he goes back up the middle, just scoots by him.
We've talked about it a lot this year. The 2-out walk always seems to be a trouble starter.
I mean, it looked like it was going to be an extremely quick inning for Walker, including a punch out of Trey Cabbage, then the walk to Grichuk.
Now Moustakas fouls off the first pitch that he sees. Bohm chases it, but no play for Bohm. There's the walk to Grichuk. Shonwell's double. The intentional walk, as it turned out, to Shohei. And Brandon Drury bouncing a ball through the middle to give the Angels the lead.
That's the 84th walk of the season for Shohei Ohtani. Tops in the American League. Shohei's almost at home plate. You just never know with Shohei. Would he try to steal home?
Walker's probably not the guy for it. He's quick to the plate, but one of these days Shohei probably will.
I mean, he can't get much further down there.
Chopper to Stott. The second baseman throws out Moustakas, but the Angels have the lead on the 2-run hit by Drury.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy.
What?
And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too!
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made. Including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. Each pair comes standard with lenses that are scratch-resistant, anti-reflective, and UV protective. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
ED is difficult for me and for my partner. Through HIMS, I can message a licensed provider about clinically proven ED treatments, like the generic form of Viagra, which can cost 90% less than the brand name version. Then HIMS ships discreetly to my door for free. I never knew it could be this easy to get my confidence back. Now we can both count on a great experience every time. Start your free visit today at forhims.com.
The combination of the changeup for Giolito on the inside part of the plate, the east part of the plate, and then goes west with a slider. So changeup one part of the plate, slider other part of the plate to get swing and misses. And here today, the changeup going down on that side of the plate, the arm side, and then glove side. Working his slider was pretty effective here today. That slider to the cave. He's painting that slider, so he's been able to paint the slider and change up off speed against a very good fastball hitting club. And there it is, that slider right on the outside corner.
Only one Philly has reached. It was Trey Turner. That was called a ball, by the way.
Well, I'm still going with a strike on that one.
Turner homered in the first, the only Philly to get on in the first 3 innings against Giolito. It's the 400th extra base hit in Trey Turner's career, and it's likely all the rest of his extra base hits will be in a Phillies uniform. This is the first of 11 years with the Phillies for Turner under contract, $300 million. 3 balls and a strike. Going into this year, it seemed like Turner was one of those guys that deserved an enormous contract like that. He can be a dynamic player. There's ball 4, so Turner can steal a lot of bases, is on to lead off here in the 4th inning.
Speaking of a Lucas Giolito changeup, the last time out it was an excellent swing and miss pitch for him. 14 swing and misses, as a matter of fact, this season on his changeup. As far as changeup this season, only Tyler Anderson with more with 15. Tim McClanahan also had 14 back in April himself. 5 strikeouts to go along with those 14 swing and misses. Now you put some stress on yourself with Turner at first base now with that speed. We talked about the struggles in the 4th inning this season for Lucas Giolito. He'd love to get a quick ground ball and an infielder to get 2 outs and not have to worry about that speed at first.
Bryce Harper at the plate, grounded out his first time tonight. It's 1 ball, 1 strike on Harper. Turner has 23 steals this year, and he's 5th in his career among active players in stolen bases. He has 253 lifetime. Pretty high up the list for a guy who's just now 30 years old. Harper drives one to right, way back, and this game is all tied. Leadoff walk and then a homer. It's 3-3.
Exit velocity is 112 miles per hour. People in Philly have been asking when they're going to see that power back from Harper. He's still, when you think about it, he's still getting the swing together. He does have 24 doubles coming into the game now, 13 home runs.
Well, he's hit 8 of them in the month of August, so it's safe to say now that they've been waiting for Harper's power and launch angle to come back. Well, it's back. He has been roasting. And for the Phillies, 51 home runs now this month. Harper hitting over 360 in August. He is heating up at the right time for the Phillies. As Castellanos swings and misses, Harper missed most of the first month or so of the season. Came back in May after getting that Tommy John surgery in November. As we talked about it At the beginning of our broadcast tonight, it's certainly a potential path for Shohei Ohtani, at least in terms of his hitting next year. He does need some sort of UCL repair in the offseason. Certainly Shohei wouldn't pitch at that point next season, but he could still do damage in a big league lineup, and Harper certainly has this year.
And now playing first base, so there's going to be some throws being made. He's getting stronger as far as that part of it for Harper. And then we know how well Shohei bounced back after having his Tommy John in 18.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Castellanos.
Well, the frustrating thing too, you score 2 runs there just like that, and then that leadoff walk, and then you have to deal with the speed of Trey Turner and then the power of Bryce Harper, and just like that, it's a brand new ball game.
We've seen that a lot this year. The Angels score multiple runs and then give some back. The 4th inning continues to be a huge problem for Giolito. He has allowed 31 runs in the 4th inning this year. He's only given up a total of 10 runs after the 4th inning this season. That's all the other remaining innings combined.
Easy now. That's his 10th home run allowed in the 4th inning. Now another base runner. Try to overthrow, muscle up on that changeup.
Almost like a second leadoff walk in this inning, because you walk Turner and they give up the homer, kind of reset the inning, and I walk to the next batter after that. So with nobody out, it's another base on balls. Matt Wise comes out, and we'll drive around with Hyundai.
Get away with a great deal only at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Bryson Stott, the batter, rounded out to second his first time. Stott's had a good year. One ball, 1 strike on Stott. Sun setting here in Philadelphia. You do get a nice pink, purple, and blue sky when the sun sets over Citizens Bank Park.
So often we see that out in SoCal, that kind of sunset, that view.
Well, whenever we get a few clouds, at least we do.
Yeah.
You got to have some clouds sprinkled in for the different colors. And it's a beautiful night here in Philadelphia. It's a great ballpark, too, with the city skyline in the background. Bouncing ball to Brandon Drury. Gets it to second for 1. Renhe for the first. Not in time. Stott, with his speed, able to get to first on a fielder's choice. Ballpark's what, about 20 years old now? It's held up great. You could, if you'd never seen this place before, you could make the case that they just opened it. I mean, that's how well it's held up in 2 decades here at Citizens Bank Park.
Slightly different than Veterans Stadium. Just slightly different.
A little bit. Veterans Park looked 20 years old the day they opened it.
One of those multi-sport stadiums back in the day where the Eagles and the Phillies played in.
Phillies played at Shibe Park once upon a time before Veterans Stadium opened. They've been an anchor of the National League for a long time, the Philadelphia Phillies.
Already 20 pitches this inning for Lucas Giolito. Big jump.
Stott running, good throw by Ohtani, but it's not in time. Ohtani did all he could to overcome that good jump from Bryson Stott. A stolen base puts Stott at second with one away.
And that's what another thing he was working on today too, is just getting that transfer, the pop time. But that was a big jump. Not a whole lot Hoppe could do on that one. You see Drury just tried to tag the foot before the hand got in there. Clearly safe at second.
There's ball 4 to Bull. That's the third walk of the inning from Giolito. He retired 9 of the first 10 that he faced. All of a sudden here in the fourth, which has been a big problem anyway for Giolito this year. His control has abandoned him. He's walked 3 of the 5 hitters he's faced in this inning, and he's allowed a 2-run homer to Harper.
And the interesting thing, though, is when you look at the first time through, second time through, which would mean more than likely that's the 4th inning, it's actually going down. So walks have been a big reason why those numbers in ERA and runs scored in the 4th inning. And you see it already in this inning with 3 of them.
JT Realmuto flied out to right field his first time. Realmuto, a 3-time All-Star, 3-time Silver Slugger winner, 2-time Gold Glove winner. No balls and 2 strikes. Realmuto originally in the Marlins organization. Look back at those Marlins teams that had Realmuto, Stanton, Yelich, Marcell Ozuna, the late Jose Fernandez. I wonder how they never put it together to at least get to the playoffs with that group. That was a lot of talent.
Good fastball there. Had him looking off speed, paints a fastball. Yeah, just looking at those numbers overall for Giolito in the 4th inning. He's come into this game. He had 13 walks so far this season in the 4th inning alone, but 3 today. But he paints that fastball. Perfect spot. Trying to keep this game tied.
Back behind second base, Stott.
He wasn't thinking that Giolito was paying attention. He was going to steal third. If you're going to steal third with 2 outs, you have to almost walk there, and that's what he was trying to do. So he's trying to get that walk lead, and again, we always talk about varying your looks back to second base as a pitcher. 4 pickoffs this season for Giolito. Like Walker, good pickoff move.
1 ball, 1 strike on Brandon Marsh, who popped out his first time. Lucas Giolito strays away from the fastball generally. Throws it under 50% of the time. One of the lightest fastball users in the game.
Pretty amazing when you look at those numbers in a key player profile, how little fastballs he throws. That's why he gets a lot of strikeouts chasing above the zone, because they're anticipating off speed or looking with his fastball. Got a couple strikeouts already looking today. 3 of them, as a matter of fact, of the 4 looking.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Brandon Marsh. It's fouled off as well.
I think you can get Marsh to chase a changeup, but if it's down and out of the strike zone, almost in the dirt, that changeup was up a little bit higher than Giolito may have wanted against Marsh.
Marsh will strike out quite a bit. Not there. It's 3-2. Marsh struck out a lot when he was with the Angels. It's been a little bit less as a Philly. He's still fairly strikeout prone. He's swung the bat well. Who hasn't on this Phillies team lately? In the month of August, Marsh has hit over 400. 3-2. The runners will go. Marsh pops it up. Moustakas over near third. Makes the catch in fair territory to end the inning. The Phillies, though, tied it up on Bryce Harper's home run.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want on the only live TV streaming service rated #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Try free at FuboTV.com.
Grand Canyon University's RN to BSN online degree program makes earning your bachelor's in nursing possible. Balance online coursework with local in-person clinicals to prepare you to lead as a charge nurse in the time you have from wherever you are, leaving room for what matters. Achieve your goals with your personalized plan and team behind you. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu.
What does the future of strength look like? It's a personal trainer that assesses your strength and adds weight as you progress. It's dynamic weight that adjusts for you in real time for a more efficient workout. Come on! And it's a roster of coaches that motivates you to get stronger, faster. The future is strength you can feel and results you can see. And you can only experience it on Tonal.
Official source for game-used Angels memorabilia. Bid on exclusive items like hats, baseballs, jerseys, and more by visiting angels.com/auctions today. Some Angels fans here in Philadelphia taking in the Angels and the Phillies tonight. First of a 3-game series.
Saw quite a few Angel fans down in early during batting practice today, taking it all in.
You see any on your trip up the Rocky Steps today?
I did, as a matter of fact. Quite a few of them.
There's a bouncer to Bryce Harper. Looks pretty natural over there at first base on that play. And when Hippo is retired, I'll say it's a bit disappointing when you actually get to the steps. There's like 25 steps.
Well, I thought there was 425, I think, Wayne.
in the movie, you make it seem like he's climbing Mount Everest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to run to get a cheesesteak, so I can't go that far up those steps. I got to make sure I maintain myself. The most important thing is a Philly cheesesteak.
Would you have 1 before and 3 after?
Yeah, Delaware, that's my favorite place. That's right in my hometown in Roxborough area.
1 ball, 1 strike on Mickey Moniak. Heard you in the pregame show, throwing in the Schuylkill River. You were hitting all the big neighborhoods today.
You know, that was the first time I literally ever ran up the stairs. I kid you not, Wayne. In all these years, I never did it before.
Well, Rocky Balboa is a Philly hero, just like you.
Oh, yeah. Slightly different. Slightly.
Where's your? I've seen Benjamin Franklin. I see Rocky Balboa. Where's your statue here?
I think it might be in the bottom of the Schuylkill River. I think that's where it's at.
Well, I'm not climbing around in there.
Nor should you.
Ball 3 to Mickey Moniak. I'll just take your word for it. Logan O'Hoppe follows Moniak here in the 5th. This game tied. That's line to right. A base hit for Moniak, bouncing to the right field corner. Mickey Moniak had a bunt base hit earlier. Now he might try for 3. Castellanos to start. The relay on the way. Not in time. A triple for Mickey Moniak.
Tell you what, he is running really well here tonight. That bunt hit, he got down at 30.5 feet per second. This time he jumped on the splitter. It was in the zone. He chased one out of the zone. Last at bat, saw it in the corner. He knows his field pretty well, and he didn't slow down. Some speed there for Mickey Moniak's 2nd triple of the season, forcing the infield in now for the Phillies.
They cut the bases well, too. Making those shorter distances between first and second and third. Now Hoppy pops up the first pitch he sees. And he can't get the run home as he pops out to Bryson Stott. So Hoppy overly aggressive there.
Yeah, I think he helped him out. He thought he saw a fastball, so he jumped on it. Was elevated above the zone. Tell you what, a textbook. He mentioned Moniak cutting the corners of his bases. If you're watching the game at home, man, his textbook how to cut that angle, be that much quicker base to base.
We talk a lot about Mike Trout running the bases that way. Something that he said he learned in the minor leagues from Damon Mayshore, who's now the first base coach for the Angels. And I'm sure as we watch Mickey Moniak do that here, it's that same tutor, the first base coach.
Yeah, I mean, you see how quickly he gets to that spot, so the distance is a cut down because you're not going wide around each base. Base to base, corner to corner. Yeah, Mayshore was a very good base runner in his day, back in his day. Just looking for some contact here for Trey Cabbage. We had a fastball to hit there, just missed it. Surprised he went with the fastball there. He's thrown him a curveball, and he's also thrown him a splitter so far in this game to get punch outs.
Swing and a miss by Cabbage, and Taijuan Walker works around the triple from Moniak. Middle of 5 in Philadelphia. Get your cheesesteaks while they're hot here at Citizens Bank Park.
Wake up to baseball's biggest stories.
Robert Flores wearing tweed.
Wake up to big name guests.
Very special guests hanging out on the crushed red velvet.
This show is tough to get ready for.
And wake up to a whole lot of fun.
Wearing a robe holding a wooden phone.
MLB Central.
It is absolutely hilarious.
The show baseball fans and baseball players wake up to.
The show's starting to pick up.
I love the energy. I love the unexpected performances.
Weekday mornings on MLB Network.
We'll have a little fun and we'll laugh.
It's like that.
Got him, it stays fair.
Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we give it to you. It's like that.
Lucas Giolito is past the 4th inning, so we'll see if his results are better than they were in the 4th inning, which has been his biggest struggle this year. A lot of 2-run homer to Bryce Harper in the 4th inning. He's only given up 2 hits. They've both been home runs. A solo shot to Turner. Harper's a 2-run homer after a walk to Turner began the bottom of the 4th. Now Jake Cave, a veteran, holding down a spot. The ball's at 2 strikes. Spent some time with Minnesota, so he's faced Giolito quite a bit.
Giolito's pitched him well also. He's already had a pretty good sequence against him. Fastball, changeup.
Ball 2 strikes. Phillies have Christian Pache on the IL right now, so Cave getting some opportunities until Pache returns. Phillies just trying to get as much defense as they can in left field when Schwarber is DHing, because Schwarber has had such a rough time in the outfield this year, really most years. So when Harper plays first, Schwarber can DH, and the Phillies are better off defensively that way. Harper hasn't played a lot of first, just as he was starting to get going there. Some back problems forced him back into the DH role. Harper will still need to DH from time to time to avoid using that elbow too much, as he's still not all the way back from Tommy John surgery in terms of his throwing. Cave with a ground ball and a base hit to lead off the fifth.
That changeup is upstairs that time. Even go back to where we showed Giolito how good that changeup was last time out with 14 swing and misses, 5 punch outs, with a lot of them were down at the lower part of the strike zone or below. Remember last year the defense for the Phillies was not there. It's part of the reason why they called and inquired about Brandon Marsh to solidify their defense in the outfield.
Well, they had a whole revolving door in center field, which included Moniak over the last couple of years until Marsh. Marsh has really solidified center field for them.
That's the first pitch that Schwarber has swung at in the first pitch. The only one that's been close to for him. I mentioned his numbers. 490 with 12 home runs on the first pitch put in play. Shohei has 9 to put into perspective on the first pitch put in play.
No balls and a strike on Schwarber, who's hit 36 homers this year. There's a snap throw to first to chase back Cave. They should have a 3 true outcome counter here at Citizens Bank Park, like how they have for Miguel Cabrera at Comerica Park. Every time he hits a home run or even gets a hit, they update the counter. Schwarber bidding for baseball history with the lowest average in a 30-homer season.
Well, I remember Mark Reynolds. He had unreal power, though.
Max Muncy might be on that list, too, before the end of the year. He's hitting under 200 with, I believe, 29 home runs. So Muncy's had a similar year to Schwarber. Another guy who walks and strikes out a lot. But Schwarber's 3 true outcome total is unreal. Two balls, 2 strikes. Schwarber has been in the leadoff spot because he can walk a lot and homer. He's got that power right away. Trey Turner has a little bit more tools to work with on deck.
Yeah, he's only rolling into 3 double plays. He's hitting most baseballs are in the air when the contact is made. I imagine Cave may be running here now, although the amount of times he strikes out, that's a dangerous thing to do because you got to strike him out, throw him out.
I would say Kyle Schwarber is largely disinterested in ground ball. There's a check on Cave just in case he does decide to take off. Swing and a miss.
3-2 changeup. Remember, he punched him out. He got a fastball. Now a changeup there swinging. First at bat, strikeout on a changeup. That's in the zone too, but the edges of the strike zone.
Third strikeout for Schwarber in this game. Giolito has fanned 5 overall. There's Dominic Leone starting to throw in the Angel bullpen. We talked about Giolito getting better as games go along, and he likes to get into that 100+ pitch count. Although he's gotten to 100 in each of his last 3 starts, including 110 on August 15th in Texas, a season high. So maybe the Angels just cognizant of the fact that Giolito's been over 100 for the last few outings, that they want to give him a shorter leash today. Turner with a fly ball left field, and it's another home run for the Phillies. The second tonight for Trey Turner makes it 5-3.
'52 home runs in the month of August for the Phillies. Second home run of the game for Turner.
Lucas Giolito has allowed 3 homers in this game, 9 to make that 10 in 31 innings since joining the Angels. He has given up 30 overall on the year. He was giving up a lot of home runs with the White Sox. He allowed 20 in 121 innings. He's given up 10 in 31 innings since the trade.
When you look at numbers between Walker and Giolito, they almost mirror each other. Batting average against 240 for Giolito, 235 for Walker. Walker much better at home. Giolito much better at home. Both struggle on the road.
Harper with a fly ball got under it. Crowd oohed and awed as he hit it, but got under it and off the end of the bat a bit as he flies out to Moniak.
That's a slider hard of the plate. We just showed on their play sense by Frontier about that slider going away to the outside part of the plate. That's middle of the plate. That becomes one of those hittable ones.
Now, this place really can be a bandbox by modern day standards, at least. It's short down the lines. It's short in the alleys. You know, it does get more cavernous out towards center field, both in right center toward the bullpens and in left center toward straightaway center field. But in the alleys and down the lines, you can hit the ball out easily here if you're a big league hitter.
Especially when you get to those warmer months with the humidity and everything else. Baseball will carry even more so here.
You see that swing.
And wind's blowing out to left field too.
That swing from Trey Turner, it was made for this place. That's why they gave him so much money. Castellanos trying to pop one. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nick Castellanos. The Phillies have the lead for the first time today. They have hit 3 home runs off Giolito, 2 of them from Trey Turner, and Bryce Harper's hit 1 as well. To third and a backhand, Moustakas throws out Castellanos. Trey Turner puts the Phillies on top. It's 5-3.
Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort, and it all starts right here with MLB Tonight's First Pitch.
Let's go to the ballpark so you get a chance to look around a little bit.
A match between the best teams in the National League going head-to-head.
During the games, we take you to the games where you might see a live walk-off. And after the games, we want to hear from the players as bad as you do.
First career walk-off hit. How did that one feel?
Oh, man, it's as good as it gets.
And that's how this team covers every team on MLB Tonight.
This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Loco. Bueno, hay que conmemorar la vaina, loco. Una corona que no la mete. Ay, ay, ay. Me debe una. No había visto una ciudad así tan bonita, ¿no? Wow. El estadio ya se ve. Pues para la segunda casa.
Dame tu secreto de la vida más tiempo.
Yo me disfruto lo más que yo pueda de mi vida.
Salud.
La vida más fina.
The next generation of baseball has arrived.
And I am here for it.
Keep an eye on the new faces of baseball on Off Base, the modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan.
It's all about things you haven't seen before.
Only on MLB Network.
Trey Turner has come around strongly after a very slow start to the year. Really through the first few months of the season, Turner was not very much like the usual Trey Turner, but he has been in August. And his 2 homers tonight have helped the Phillies take a 5-3 lead over the Angels. Randall Grichuk leads off the 6th and takes a strike from Taijuan Walker.
The Angels have had their fair share of hits in this game, trying to add on some runs, but 3 runs for the first 5 innings against Walker with 8 hits.
Turner a very good defender as well as he retires Grichuk. Turner with his numbers in August. He has lived up to the expectations. That was really the point of Nick Castellanos and some of the other Phillies that rallied around Turner and said, this guy's an incredibly talented player. And even if he didn't do it in April or May or June or July, he could still do it in August and September and October. And that's all anybody will remember, and that's all anybody will talk about, and he can get us to where we want to go.
And he's been a world champ with the Nationals too, so I mean, the guy's been in a lot of big games, and that's why he was brought in by the Phillies for that long-term deal.
Phillies were in the World Series last year. Mostly unexpectedly, they won 87 games. They were under 500 in September. And they just kind of fell into the playoffs because they were kind of that last team standing in the wild card race in the National League. Shonowell with a bouncing ball to Harper, who will take it to the bag for the second out.
We saw Rob Thompson. He says that Bryce Harper could turn into an outstanding defensive first baseman. At some point, you figure he was going to be that guy at first base.
If he stays there, eventually you'd think he'll end up back in the outfield. Rhys Hoskins out for the year. Got hurt in spring training. Hoskins should be back at some point in the future. And Harper should be able to throw again at some point as well. But he got acclimated to first base pretty quickly. It looks like the Phillies are about to make a pitching change here. Bryce Harper in his first base debut. Well,
I'm sure the Phillies and their front office were like, oh, wow, we really love to see him make that play. I mean, it's an outstanding play, but you don't want to take that shot right away.
He is something else. And Taijuan Walker did a good job tonight. He's on his way out.
Listen to live blackout-free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam.
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes. Home run, Pete Alonso.
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
I'ma do what? That's on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network. Sunday, on the next episode of MLB's Carded, join Greg Amsinger for a look at all things cardboard, from vintage to modern. We've got it covered. MLB's Carded, Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network. This is Christopher Russo. This is Joey Votto. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Christopher Russo plays hard, so he doesn't end up here.
Must be nice to sit atop that Madison Avenue ivory tower, looking down at us with those luscious locks. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're a disgrace.
High Heat with Christopher Russo.
It took me the last 2 weeks prepping for this interview. I didn't realize how much I love you. You are the best.
On MLB Network.
Nissan save on the action-packed Nissan lineup today. The Nissan Thrill of the Drive sales event. By Spectrum One, Internet Advanced Wi-Fi and mobile for just $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com. And by Jack in the Box, the double bacon sourdough jack, a slice after slice after slice of bacon. Try it. Shohei jerseys aplenty here at Citizens Bank Park. Taijuan Walker not allowed to face Shohei for a fourth time today. Pulled after 5 2/3 innings with Shohei due up. It'll be Matt Strahm, the former Padre, on the mound.
There's a cutter to fastball. Going to be 93, 96. Curveball, slider, changeup along with that cut fastball.
Got to have long hair to be on this team. Strahm giving Marsh a run for his money with the long locks flowing out.
Should see another fastball here. He's making sure you're well aware of what you're talking about. Perfect timing.
2 balls and a strike. Brandon Marsh out there doing his Jim the Anvil Neidhart impression. Tugging on that beard.
Ooh, that was a pitch.
2-2 on Shohei.
Shohei just missed this one. He's really good on elevated fastballs. We might see a breaking ball now after that swing. As always, everyone's ready for history with Shohei swinging the bat.
Oh, there was a pitch he could possibly handle, and he took a big swing, but Matt Strom strikes him out to end the top of the 6th.
You want highlights? Quick Pitch has you covered.
I'd say this calls for celebration.
Packing all today's biggest plays into one lightning fast hour.
Oh my goodness! What a play!
Every game. Every night.
Swing and a miss!
Every highlight that makes the headlines.
Are you kidding me?
We live today, preview tomorrow.
This race in the NL Central is getting good.
On Quick Pitch. Late nights and early mornings, only on MLB Network.
MLB Big Inning brings you the biggest plays of the night, live as they happen. Don't miss the ultimate baseball highlight reel. It's nonstop action on MLB Big Inning, every night on MLB.tv.
It's the modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan. Off Base, with interviews and coverage of baseball's hottest stars.
I've done a couple interviews in my life. This probably is the most fun I've ever been a part of.
Only on MLB Network.
Lucas Giolito has gotten through 6 innings each of his last 3 starts. He'll have a chance to get through the 6th in this one, even though the Angels had their bullpen up in the 5th inning. It's Giolito out here in the 6th with Bryson Stott leading off. 3 more homers allowed by Giolito. Phillies have a 5-3 lead. There's Aaron Luke getting ready in the Angels bullpen.
Yeah, you would think he'd be ready for Marsh potentially in this inning.
Stott lefty due up, and then 2 righties, Bohm and Real Muto. Stott's really turned into a nice player for the Phillies his 2nd year in the big leagues.
That's paint.
96 on that fastball from Giolito as he strikes out Stott.
That was perfect location with that fastball, but when you look at the home runs given up on the changeup, the 4-seam fastball and slider, the common theme amongst all those pitches, middle to middle down of the zone. A lot more of the plate than he wanted to throw them. All 3 hit out. Mistakes in zone. We talked about that even in the pregame show with Giolito. When he's out of the zone or on the edges or gets chases, he is really, really good. But in zone this season, especially with the Angels, it's been a struggle.
A couple of decent starts for the Angels. Only allowed 1 earned run his last time out against the Reds. Beat the Giants on August 8th, but it's in danger of falling to 1-5 as an Angel. His ERA around 7. One ball, 1 strike on Alec Bohm. Still a few innings for the Angels to come back tonight against the Phillies bullpen that has improved as the season has gone along.
You can always feel in this stadium too, if you keep it a 2-run deficit, you always have a shot in this yard.
Absolutely. Balls and a strike on Bohm, who's 0 for 1, walked his last time. Nice pitch there by Giolito on the changeup to get a swing and a miss. 2-2.
Get back with another changeup. Bohm able to foul that one off, though. I feel right now when you have a swing like that, Wayne, I think you can go that slider off that outside corner.
Bohm inside outs one toward right center. Moniak moves over and he makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down.
You can tell this ballpark is conducive to home runs and baseball's carry. Everything hitting the air was oohing and on. That was in shallow right center.
Yeah, it almost got out.
Hey, look at that pitch usage in the arsenal today. Nearly 42% of his pitches changeups.
2 down in the batter, Real Muto. So 4th straight start for Giolito with 100 pitches or more. He's at 102 right now. This will likely be his last batter. Ball 1 to Real Muto. And the Texas Rangers are losing again. They are down in New York tonight playing the Mets. 3-0 in the bottom of the 5th at Citi Field. Toronto's winning. They're beating Washington 5-1. The Rangers have fallen out of first place. And if they're not careful, they might fall out of the postseason mix altogether.
Yeah, they're in a bad spot right now.
A lot of baseball left.
Especially when you think of Seattle playing the Rangers and the Astros a ton in the last 2 weeks of the season.
Now the Mariners' final 10 games are against the Rangers and the Astros. That'll be some furious finish in the American League West. Right now, Seattle is in first place.
It's still amazing when you think about where they were just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, they were 10 games out in July, and now they're in first as Giolito walks Real Muto, and Aaron Loup will come in to face Brandon Marsh.
The power of baseball goes beyond the field.
What an exciting time.
Stand up, we are Jackie Robinson.
Together.
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 This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network. Keep up with every team on MLB Network wherever you go. Just download the MLB app, click MLB Network, and sign in with your TV provider info. Then watch MLB Network all day, every day, your way. This is Christopher Russo. This is Joey Votto. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Christopher Russo plays hard, so he doesn't end up here.
Must be nice to sit atop that Madison Avenue ivory tower, looking down on us with those luscious locks. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're a disgrace.
High Heat with Christopher Russo.
It took me the last 2 weeks prepping for this interview. I didn't realize how much I love you. You are the best.
On MLB Network.
Started in 1995. Was supposed to start in 94, but first wild card in 95. 2012, the wild card game was added. 2 wild card teams playing each other. And then last year, that 3rd wild card was added to the mix. 12 playoff teams, now 6 in each league. And of course, one of the first 6 seeds, and the first 6 seed in the National League, the Phillies, and they made it to the World Series as a 6th seed last year.
And they, you know, for a while there, getting the wild card with all the momentum, they were constantly working their way all the way and having that momentum going and getting the World Series, or at least going deep in playoffs. But trying to take away that advantage, having that 3-game set, and you have to burn your number 1 and number 2 starters generally to advance. But still, the Phillies were able to get on a roll with their offense and the energy that Bryce Harper brought. They were able to advance all to the World Series, and at one point we're leading the World Series 2-1.
Finish with one of those first-round buys. They got 5-6 days off between the end of the regular season and the start of the postseason. Certainly, it seemed to affect the National League teams, the Braves and the Dodgers having that layoff. And in the American League, well, you know, the Astros, they got down to their final out in Game 1 of their playoff series against the Mariners before Yordan Alvarez launched one and really bailed them out right away from an early 1-0 deficit in that series. We'll see if those teams that end up with the buys again this year have similar issues. Feel like the Braves and Dodgers will have the buys in the National League. In the American League, it'll probably be the East and West champions, although both divisions still up for grabs. The West very much up for grabs, and the East pretty much a two-team race now between Baltimore and Tampa Bay. Aaron Loop with a throw over. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count on Brandon Marsh.
Still customary to hear the boos after a pickoff throw.
Inside out swing and a base hit for Marsh into left field. He has his first hit against his former team tonight. Realmuto goes to second base. Jake Cave is due up, although the Phillies are going to make a move.
Yeah, that fastball that's got the heart of the plate was about thigh high. He was able to go inside out, go to left field, and hit that one hard enough for a base hit.
This is going to be Johan Rojas batting in place of Cave. Rojas has been impressive as a 23-year-old rookie.
And they talk about his defensive skills here.
Well, he's played in 33 major league games and he has 10 defensive runs saved.
Well, that is pretty good.
So Rojas will fill that spot in the outfield. That's something that was missing. We mentioned it with Harper needing to DH. Schwarber had to play left field. He had -18 defensive runs saved. One of the worst defenders in the league. So a huge upgrade with Rojas in left field over Schwarber as Rojas takes strike one. Rojas with a fly ball to right field as Cabbage comes in and makes the catch.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
Sports brought to you by Cremily, authentic French frozen yogurt, good for you and good for the world. By Pacifico, rich golden lager brewed for those who follow their own path. Pacifico, live life, anchors up. By Metro Water District, for water saving tips and rebates, bewaterwise.com. And by your Southern California Chevy dealers. Johan Rojas stays in the game to play center field. He moves Brandon Marsh over to left. As the Phillies upgrade their defensive outfield with a lead in the later innings. Brandon Drury leads off here in the top of the 7th inning against Matt Strahm. And a strike from Strahm. Drury with a couple of RBIs and 2 hits tonight.
Another solid game for Brandon Drury. This ballpark, he likes hitting in there, coming in 353 in this yard. He'll jump up with a 2-for-3 game.
Now a 3-hit game for Brandon Drury. Lines a base hit to start the 7th.
Stayed in on this 4-seam fastball inside, lines it left center. It's been short, real short and quick through the baseball.
That brings up Moustakas against the lefty Strahm, who has given up the long ball at times this year. He's allowed 10 homers in 76 innings.
And Moose with 2 career home runs in this ballpark.
Last homer Strahm allowed was more than a month ago, but it was to a left-handed batter, Ryan O'Hearn. There's a fly ball to center field, but it hangs for Johan Rojas. On the way as we hear from Jack in the Box.
My classic sourdough Jack. It's named after your 2 favorite things, sourdough and me. Only at Jack.
Here's Luis Rengifo with a couple of base hits today. Drove in a run in the first. Angels have 9 hits. They've out-hit the Phillies 9-5. The Phillies have made the most of their hits with 3 home runs. There's a liner that's foul down the line.
Well, they missed by a lot. He stayed on aggressive. We know how aggressive Rengifo is on the first pitch. Slider, inner half, and he jumped on and just pulled it foul. Just out in front enough to keep it foul.
Angels do have a couple of extra base hits today. One ball, 1 strike on Rengifo, batting from the right side for the first time. Taijuan Walker, a right-hander, started, worked 5 2/3 innings. And lefty Strahm on in relief. Strahm in his first year with the Phillies signed a 2-year deal in the offseason. Was with Boston last year and pitched well. 2 balls and a strike. Some decent years with the Padres 4 or 5 years ago as the Phillies have their bullpen up behind Strahm. It's Jeff Hoffman. Toward the right field line. Harper's after it. It falls in. It's a base hit. Drury goes to third. Rengifo will hold at first.
That's 3 hits for Rengifo, and Drury with 3 hits tonight. Moniak coming up looking for his 3rd hit in the night.
The Angels have a potential rally here, 1st and 3rd with 1 out.
Well, that is about as good as a sand wedge as you could hit.
Moniak with a bunt base hit and a triple in this game. He's facing the lefty here, and Moniak has not hit well against left-handed pitching. He's got a chance to change that against Strom. And he lines one toward left center field. That gets down for a base hit. Drury scores. Rengifo goes to third. Mickey Moniak solves a lefty. His third hit today against his former team. And an RBI single makes it 5-4.
And you even go back to last at bat, got a hit on a splitter. So 3 hits for Moniak, 3 hits for Rengifo, 3 hits for Drury. And just down by 1 now. Fastball inner half. You see the reaction by Realmuto. Right away he knew it. He wanted to go fastball away, inner half. That's the one ball you could put in play if you're a left-handed batter against a lefty, especially when you're struggling as a left-handed batter.
Sure, you'll teach her how to drive a car. Then use Greenlight to power her independence with crash detection with 911 dispatch, family location sharing, and emergency SOS alerts. Invest in your best investment with Greenlight.
With Home Chef, you're not just home cooking, you're home winning. Our fast and fresh meal kits are as fast to make as they are fresh to enjoy. When it comes to making dinner, fill in the blanks with Home Chef. Delicious, meat simple.
Get 18 free meals when you sign up at homechef.com.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
Enjoyed the show. Look at that. It's Kentucky men's basketball coach John Calipari getting to meet the one and only Shohei Ohtani before the game today. He tweeted out a couple of pictures of his visit to the bank today. He said he was at his hotel last night, bumped into Angels manager Phil Nevin and Perry Manassian, asked to come to BP today. So not only did he come to BP, took a picture with Show, took a picture with Mike Trout as well. Also had to visit with some of the guys on the Philly side. But this is all we care about, right? John Calipari, Shohei Ohtani. Hey guys, I wonder if he asked him to return the favor. Could you imagine seeing Shohei Ohtani stroll into a Kentucky men's basketball game? How nuts everybody would go?
That would be super cool. That would be incredible. The energy level that arena to begin with, and he put Shohei in there, yes.
Rupp Arena would never be the same. I didn't know Coach Cal was in the house tonight. A great Italian, you know, John Calipari.
Yeah, he was hanging out at the hotel last night. We were having quite a few conversations with him. It was amazing to see him last night.
Logan O'Hoppe batting with runners on first and second. 1 ball, 1 strike as the Angels have a run on 3 hits in this inning, chasing Matt Strom from the game.
Pretty good speed on the bases here, too.
Rengifo's at second, Moniak's at first. O'Hoppe with a fly ball to right field. Castellanos has it tracked, makes the catch. Rengifo tagging will go to third with the tying run as O'Hoppe flies out. So now 2 down. Cabbage is due up, but it will be Hunter Renfroe instead, facing Jeff Hoffman here with a chance to tie the game. Cabbage was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts in this one.
Hoffman not necessarily overpowering, though. He can get there 93, 96, curveball, slider, changeup. What we've seen a pattern against Hunter Renfroe in these spots. First pitch, fastball up and in, and then sliders. So show enough patience that he should be able to lay off that pitch off the plate in and then look out over the plate and then drive at the right center.
Chance to tie it up at least for Renfroe here with 2 outs. He swings through that first pitch. A slider from Hoffman.
Important right now for Rengifo to get a big secondary lead, because I think Renfroe is going to see a lot of breaking balls here.
The ball's in a strike. Bouncing ball to short. Trey Turner gets it to second to end the inning. Angels get one. Leave the tying run at third.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
ED is difficult for me and for my partner. Through HIMS, I can message a licensed provider about clinically proven ED treatments. Like the generic form of Viagra, which can cost 90% less than the brand name version. Then HIMS ships discreetly to my door for free. I never knew it could be this easy to get my confidence back. Now we can both count on a great experience every time. Start your free visit today at forhims.com.
If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. Each pair comes standard with lenses that are scratch-resistant, anti-reflective, and UV protective. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Angels.com to buy your tickets to upcoming games, including exciting matchups, giveaways, and much more. Here's your heroes right there, the Broad Street Bullies.
Couple Stanley Cups. Yeah, they made sure they won the game in every way possible back then.
That's right. Kyle Schwarber leads off the bottom of the 7th inning, top of the order against Loop. 2 of the 3 hitters do appear left-handed. Schwarber, then Trey Turner, the righty, and then Harper, left-handed. Loop trying to keep this a 1-run game and give the Angels a good chance to come back late against the Phillies bullpen. Their closer is Craig Kimbrell. Had a really good year. I mean, remember, Kimbrell closed out the All-Star game for the National League. There's Gregory Soto, the former Tiger.
Well, you talk about a guy who could bring it from the left side.
Soto has a bit of a high ERA. And he certainly is a hard thrower. Jose Alvarado down in that bullpen as well. A hard throwing lefty. It's played by the ball girl on that carom. Three balls, 2 strikes on Schwarber. Not predicting a walk or a strikeout or a home run.
They can strike out here. You got at least a 30-some% chance of being correct.
Well, there's a drive to right center. And Moniak, just before the track, makes the catch. If he'd have pulled that ball, it would have been the home run.
You can see the baseball to center field. We're getting knocked down just a little bit by the wind blowing out to left field. Down the line, yes, it's out, but anywhere to center field to right center field, the wind has knocked it down.
Schwarber flies out. That'll be it for Aaron Loop. Trey Turner due up in a moment. one out in the 7th, and he'll face a man who is largely responsible for the Phillies' lead tonight. Trey Turner has scored 3 runs. He's hit 2 homers and he's driven in 3. Took Lucas Giolito deep in the bottom of the 1st inning. Got the Phillies on the board. He walked and scored in the 4th on Bryce Harper's homer. Then in the 5th, hit another one out. This time a 2-run shot from Turner.
So he lifted a changeup and a slider out against Giolito.
The Phillies' 51st home run in the month of August, the most they've ever hit as a franchise in a single month. Schwarber's hit 9. Castellanos and Harper have each hit 8. And Turner's hit 7. He's never had a 3-homer game, and he bats here with nobody on in the bottom of the 7th against Leon. The Phillies in their last 6 games entering tonight had a team OPS over 1,000. They have really hit the ball well. They have hit 17 home runs in just their last 7 games, including tonight's 3. Turner held his swing according to Laz Diaz, the first base umpire.
When you look at Trey Turner, the way he has his hands moving, Meriden, that leg kick he has. That timing of getting that foot down is extremely important for him.
2 balls and 1 strike. Harper follows Turner. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Close game. It's been close throughout. Angels led. Phillies tied it a couple of times. Phillies took the lead on Turner's homer in the 5th. He swings and misses here to make it 2-2. Turner still alive as he rolls one over foul. Two more games here in Philadelphia tomorrow night. Wednesday afternoon. Tomorrow, Tyler Anderson against former Angel Michael Lorenzen, who threw a no-hitter for the Phillies earlier this year. And Wednesday, Reed Detmers against left-hander Christopher Sanchez. Turner with a fly ball to right. Moving after it, Renfroe toward the corner, makes the catch. He was in foul territory by the time he got to it. And Turner retired for the first time in this game. 2 down.
Yeah, that baseball just kept drifting away from him. Once he goes in foul territory. Then we had a couple of those plays in New York at Citi Field.
There's similar lack of foul territory down the right field line there as there is here.
Wow, intentional walk. No one on.
Don't see that much. Bryce Harper gets a 2-out intentional walk with the bases empty. He smashed one out of here earlier.
That sky was incredible at that point.
We even have it on the StatCast, the sky.
Yes. 112 miles per hour exit velocity. Maybe that's why you walk him with a swing like that. And he is hot right now, and you're only down by 1. Castellanos has hit the ball really well himself this season. He's back to that doubles machine he always has been with 32. Last year he struggled swinging the bat for the Phillies.
For what it's worth, Harper had been 0 for 4 lifetime against Leon. Castellanos comes up empty on that inside fastball, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Phillies have sunk a lot of money into this ball club, and it certainly paid off with their World Series appearance last year. Or Castellanos got a 5-year deal around $100 million as well. John Middleton, the owner of the Phillies, basically said about the big contracts, so what? Nobody cares about whether I make money or not. They care about trophies. And there's a wild pitch as Harper now goes to second base. So Harper was intentionally walked with nobody on. Finds himself in scoring position.
That was a well overthrown slider. Not a whole lot that Logan Ohtani could do. And it's right there, right in front of the plate. So it's kicking away from him with the spin on and hits the dirt.
John Middleton said, if my legacy is that I didn't lose any money owning a baseball team on an annual operating basis, that's a pretty sad legacy. It's about putting trophies in cases. The Phillies trying to do that this year with this roster. Castellanos takes ball 4, able to check his swing. So back-to-back walks. One intentional, one not. And now Bryson Stott is due up.
Looked like he was able to hold up, and he did so on that. Eight games in his career for Dominic Leone against the Phillies. ERA mid-5s.
Stott 0 for 3 with a strikeout. This one well toward left center. Moniak's back for it out near the wall. Leaps, makes the catch. Bumps into the wall on the way down. The former Philly has had a great night. Mickey Moniak with 3 hits. And now a great play up against the wall in left center field.
Top tier play. Mickey Moniak with the bat today. It's been very, very good. Saves potentially a couple runs here with an outstanding defensive play out in left center field. That tall wall up against there. He's robbed 3 home runs. He robs an extra base hit there. Keeping this just a 1-run deficit, getting the high fives, getting back into that dugout. What a game so far for Moniak going against his former team.
He's going to be the talk of Philly sports radio tomorrow. Mickey Moniak. There's Gregory Soto, a guy who's pitched in a couple of all-star games. Both of those with the Detroit Tigers. And some of the peripheral numbers still pretty good for Soto, even though his ERA is up there this year. High and tight. He misses to Randall Grichuk.
Yeah, he can touch 101. He's 96 to 101. Slider, changeup. He can get wild, and he's had some success against him when he was a member of the Tigers.
Grichuk trying to hold his swing there. He went around, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Shonowell follows Grichuk, then Shohei here in the 8th. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Grichuk did draw a walk and scored a run earlier.
He's got power in this ballpark. One swing of the bat, you're tied up.
Down the line and foul. Soto's ERA is as high as it is because he's had some games where he's given up a chunk of runs. Had a handful of outings this year where he's allowed 3 runs or more. Most of those were early in the season. He did get touched up for 4 runs recently against Minnesota. It's right in there, 98 miles an hour, and Grichuk goes down looking. So 1 out and a quick word from Kia. And here's Shonowell, who doubled and scored earlier, also hit by a pitch with a run scored earlier.
Setting that hitting streak too for Shonowell.
It's at 8 games now. He's just 1 shy of David Eckstein for the franchise record to begin a major league career. It's a 1-hopper to Bohm. And a throw on target to retire Shonowell. So 2 down, and now Shohei will represent the tying run.
Well, this should be fun. Now you have a guy on the mound that could throw 100 miles an hour like that last pitch was. Shohei, with his power, just got to make contact with that. A baseball can go a long, long way here tonight in Philly.
Lefties have only hit 109 against Soto this year, but splits don't mean as much when it's Shohei at the plate. It was after the first pitch. It's a bouncer. It's going to be a tough play for Harper. Flip to Soto. It is in time. Ah, what a good play by Bryce Harper, who has barely played first base in his life.
That's a perfect flip. And he just gets the foot down, and you can see it just before Shohei does. What a play that was for Harper. Rob Thompson said he could be a really, really good fielding first baseman. We're seeing on display.
Think baseball.
There's something that's been missing in the debate.
Think analysis.
He really looked like the perfect thing to add to this club last night.
Think advanced metrics.
The new rules are having an impact, and I'll bottom line it.
Think MLB Now, the show for the thinking fan, only on MLB Network.
Trying to maintain a one-run game. Angels will have a chance in the top of the 9th inning, probably against Kimbrel. Alec Bohm leads off at the bottom of the 8th inning. Couldn't hold his swing there. Kimbrel, a 9-time All-Star. He's racked up 414 career saves. He's the Phillies closer.
Between his four-seam and cutter, 93-96 range for Leon. Kimbrel getting ready.
One ball, 2 strikes on Alec Bohm leading off here in the 8th. Real Muto and Marsh due up in this inning. Bohm lines one to the gap in left center. That'll be extra bases for Alec Bohm. Leadoff double here in the 8th.
His 24th double of the year. We have that leadoff man getting in scoring position right away as they're trying to keep it a 1-run deficit. That slider just backed up inner half down. Only 6 hits for the Phillies today, but 4 extra base hits, including 3 home runs. I mean, Berea warming up now.
Fly ball to right center from Real Muto. Moniak has it and Bohm won't tag. And 1 out. Marsh will bat. Support your Angels into the home stretch at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your Angels at MLBshop.com. There's Marsh with 1 out, a base hit earlier. He's 1 for 3. Brandon Marsh traded from the Angels to the Phillies last year at the trade deadline. Went on to play in the World Series, even hit a home run in the World Series for the Phillies last year. See that shiny necklace. Jose Alvarado made those for his teammates while he was on the IL.
Talented.
Bohm's got one too. Marsh with a hard hit ball past Drury off his glove. That's going to score a run. Bohm comes home. Brandon Marsh with an RBI against the Angels. And the Phillies get an insurance run at 6-4. It might not have scored Bohm had Drury not touched it.
That cutter was almost similar spot to the double that Bohm hit. Pretty good speed at first base too with Brandon Marsh. 7 stolen bases, but caught twice. Seem to be running as much this season.
Johan Rojas at the plate with the Angels down by 2 now. It's one to right. Hunter Renfroe at the catch. Marsh has to hurry back to first. Good throw, not in time. So 2 down, and the batter now will be Schwarber, who's 0 for 4. 3 strikeouts and a flyout to right center field for Schwarber.
Dominic Leone's got to be careful in this first pitch here now.
Wave and a miss there by Schwarber, who's hit 36 home runs this year. Not much else. That average at 187 with his 0 for 4 tonight. Angels in the 9th inning will have Drury, Moustakas, and Renfroe due up, or Rengifo rather. And then Moniak, who's had 3 hits tonight against his former team, could bat as well against Kimbrel.
And we know how well he hits in those later tight situations, so you love to see some base runners and Moniak get a chance to swing the bat. Kimbrel's a guy that we will throw that fastball, that 4-seamer over the plate. You can drive it.
Runner going. Marsh trying to steal second. He's in there. And Rengifo not totally convinced. Logan O'Hoppe trying to throw out the man that he was traded for.
Looked like he got in there, I thought.
Close play as Marsh went in with a head-first dive.
See that hand in there. And he kept it on the base.
He's in scoring position after that stolen base. That's his 8th this year. Schwarber with a chopper. Nice pick by Shonowell. Runs it to the bag to beat Schwarber. Phillies tack on a run. It's now a 2-run Angel deficit heading to the 9th. Craig Kimbrel with 414 career saves. 20 this year in a Phillies uniform, his first year with Philadelphia. Trying to lock this one down in the top of the 9th.
Yeah, just a whip exactly 1. Fastball still pretty firm, 94, 98. Curveball, it does a lot more curveballs. And going back to our Hyundai key for the game today. Please don't leave me. There's been some opportunities to score some runs with runners in scoring position. Brandon Drury has been a guy that has driven that in, so looking to get it started here in this ballpark that's down by 2. Still an opportunity as a base runner and then a blast to tie it up.
Kimbrel has the 8th most saves in Major League history. Recorded his 400th earlier this year. It's behind Kenley Jansen, Billy Wagner, and John Franco. As far as relievers he could possibly catch this year or even next year. Forget former Angel Francisco Rodriguez is 4th all time with 437, so Kimbrel could even get to him next season. Tosses in a strike to start Drury.
Still one of the best closers of all time, Francisco Rodriguez, and still doesn't get into that conversation a whole lot. Still the season's record for saves in a year.
He probably should here. Billy Wagner get discussed more in Hall of Fame talk than K-Rod. Drury lines one toward right. Good jump. Castellanos makes the catch. That ball hung up a bit as well. And there's one out here in the top of the 9th.
And a pretty solid swing for Brandon Drury. He hit that one right on the line, but Castellanos right there to catch that.
One away now. Moustakas, who is hitless tonight. Angels had a lead early, gave it up in the next half inning each time they took the lead tonight. Phillies have led since Trey Turner's homer in the 5th as Kimbrel delivers ball 1. Kimbrel got the save in the All-Star game this year, broke the National League's long losing streak in the Midsummer Classic.
Need to be patient here. The need for a base runner. You get one in the zone, that's when you're ready for Mike Moustakas. We know how hard he can hit a baseball if it's in zone.
He pops it up though, and this should be easy for Castellanos or Rojas. It's the center fielder Rojas for the 2nd out. Kimbrel, in addition to all the saves, has the 6th most strikeouts by a reliever in Major League history. Not far behind Raleigh Fingers and Billy Wagner on that list. Here's Renifo, 3 hits. See if he can get on base and give Moniak a chance to wallop one and really burn his former team tonight. There's the good curve from Kimbrel. Soft bouncer to short. Big hop for Trey Turner. Low throw. Harper able to scoop it out. And the Phillies take game 1 in this series. Trey Turner, a big reason why. He's the Toyota player of the game. He had 2 home runs. He drove in 3. He scored 3. And the Phillies with 3 homers tonight, the other by Bryce Harper. Able to carry themselves to a 6-4 win over the Angels in this one.
Yeah, and Trey Turner made that real good defensive play in the 1st inning where the Angels looked like they were able to add on besides just the 1 run they did score. That was a well-hit baseball by Logan O'Hoppe, but swung the bat well. Couple home runs, 3 RBIs, the difference.
The Angels will try to even up this series again tomorrow night. They'll have Tyler Anderson face Michael Lorenzen here at Citizens Bank Park. For Mark Gubicza and Erica Weston, our entire crew, I'm Wayne Randazzo. We say goodnight from Philly. Angels Live postgame is coming up as the Phillies beat the Angels 6-4.